Good evening and welcome to round 8 of the Australasian Sim Racing Development Series from Sandown Motor Raceway or International Raceway, as it has been known in the past. Of course, myself, Lewis Wedding, here in the commentary box, joined by NZ Snipes, aka Kane Gray. Snipes, how's it going?
Yeah, all good there, Lewis. All good. Ready to go for another round of development series. Last round was a bit of a crash fest, so let's see if the field can turn around. The field looks big tonight, Lewis, so we'll see what it invites.
Yeah, we do have a much larger field than the previous round. We do have, just looking at live races right now, got 26 cars in there, which that's one of our bigger fields in a while, actually. So it is going to be interesting. It's going to make qualifying very awkward here, Snipes, with so many cars on such a very short circuit. Circuit, of course, only being for the faster runners about a minute and 8 seconds, minute and 9 seconds. So yeah, not a lot of space for these guys in the qualifying session. So we may see one or two guys end up not getting their ideal qualifying laps in. So that will be something to look out for tonight. But Snipes, you've obviously done an Enduro Cup run around here last year. How do you find the Sandown circuit?
Certainly challenging. It's a circuit you have to attack. It's very bumpy, of course, down the front straight heading into one, and then you really have to attack the chicanes at two and three to get a very decent lap time out here. Obviously, down turn, I believe it's 5 or 6, down to Dandenong Road is a really tricky piece of racetrack there, where it's quite difficult on the brakes as you are still battling with the weight of the car settling, getting onto the brakes down to Dandenong Road. So you expect to see people go off the road down at turn 9 there.
And track limits have also been revised since last season as well. So you're not going to be able to get away with some of the stuff that some of the drivers did in the Enduro Cup last year as well. So I have seen in even in the practice session when I was just looking through some of the times that people were doing and bringing up their names that they had a number of laps that weren't getting counted, namely in that third sector, which normally means either turn 8 there on your screens, that little right hand kink on the downhill section towards Dandenong Road, or turn 12, where it's very easy to go all four over the curb. Where in real life you can do that once or twice in a session or a race, but if you were able to do that in multiple times, you'd end up actually damaging the car, running the car that aggressively over the curb, and unsettle it for turn 13. So yeah, certainly it's a simple circuit, but at the same time it's very difficult to get 100% right at the same time. Turn 4 being one of the most vital corners on the circuit for lap time and top speed, and does lead into a passing opportunity at the top of the hill, provided things go well. And you don't have two drivers trying to go side by side through turn 6. We have seen in real life some massive smashes in there with some optimistic attempts at an overtake, leading to some cars being written off completely. And then, as you said earlier there, Snipes, that run down that hill, Dandenong Road, we will see, I am certain, at least half dozen cars in the turn 10 gravel trap. And probably we'll see maybe one car tonight, whether it be qualifying or one of the races, into the tyre bundles on the inside of that turn 9 kink there. And when you hit them, they're race enders. So I reckon we'll see one of them. We'll definitely see some cars off after a lock break coming down into turn 10. And as you can see in the screen set, 108.0 is the qualifying lap record. Looking at the practice times that we've seen so far tonight, it's probably not going to get broken, but you never know. 108.0, but yeah, at the moment, driver's going to have to try and find half a second. So that may be in doubt. The race lap record, though, when drivers get into a rhythm, maybe a little bit of a slipstream, maybe that record may get challenged tonight.
There's a chance. There is a chance. The Super 2 field, Development Series field, I should say, has found a lot of pace throughout the year. Tim Redmond certainly set a pretty high benchmark when he came and raced in Super 2, so it'll be quite a lap to be breaking those records. But yeah, in practice, we have seen times down to the 108.4s. How much fuel they were on, the luxury of perhaps a clear track and new tyres maybe, but you never know. It could still be broken. The runners do have, I think, the outright pace and potential to break it. Whether it will go, though, is a different story.
Yeah, they will need things to fall their way. While we do have a bit of time, I do believe we still have 2.5 minutes until the server ticks over to the qualifying session. Drivers getting a stern briefing after, of course, the bit of the demolition derby that we had at Townsville for parts of those races. We'll tick over to the drivers' standings, or at least the top 10 at the moment. And as you can see, Lockie Lock had closed the gap down quite a bit, but he's lost a few points. Of course, due to some penalties that he did rack up there at Townsville. Of course, Nathan Higginson didn't have an ideal round either. So both our front two runners, not in spots where they'd want to be, but still a championship fight up for grabs. You still have the drop round coming up as well for those runners, so that will shake things up a little bit. Cheese sort of out on his own there, but still, if things do go his way, he gets a little bit of luck. He is within striking distance, and his pace tonight is looking quite handy. Only just under 2/10 off Bailey Hall, who set the benchmark time in the previous practice session. Darren Kemp there in 4th place on 1,302 points, with Ben Hall, who won't be racing the remainder of the season, in 5th. And then we have a bit of a logjam with Steve Warwick leading the way ahead of the two Cecils. Justin ahead of Matt, and Taipan not too far away. Those guys all separated by 70 points, and then another 50 points back we have Luke Yeager, who has started to just improve just a little bit as the season's gone on, which is good to see. Flip over the page, Rhodey has jumped out of the top 10. I'll actually just go back to the top 10, and yeah, he's about 46 points behind the top 10 in the standings, but he's got a hard charging Noah Tara in behind him, who wasn't sure if he's going to make it tonight with some uni commitments, but he is in the server. He hasn't done too much practice, but he's already only 4/10 away, so look for him to once again look to get himself into the top 10 in the standings. Ayrton Filippi in 13th ahead of Darren Lochnan on 744, so about 150 points separating the Super 3 two leaders there. Then we have Phil Donny in 15th, who we're not sure. I don't think he's going to race, at least for the foreseeable future, due to some personal circumstances changing, which is a shame. Zach Brown in 16th ahead of Laszlo Teglas, and then Phil Boak, who also received the message from early today. I haven't replied to it. I'm sorry, Phil, if you're watching, but another one that's life's just getting in the way, so may not be able to make the remaining races there. Bratt in 19th, with Melody Smith rounding out the top 20, rewarding some nice consistency there. And then, of course, over the team standings, sorry to cut you off, we have Luke McHugh Racing and HME powered by Kiwi SimSport. 2,850 plays 2,738, but of course, Snipes, there's only one car for Luke McHugh Racing for the remainder of the season. So you'd imagine that battle's pretty much over.
Yeah, honestly, unless some absolute miracle happens for Lockie Lock, he wins pretty much all the races, and disaster happens towards the two HME cars behind him. Yeah, you'd have to think that the HME team will be feeling like P1 is well and truly theirs now, provided Ben Hall does not finish the season as he said he won't. So it's definitely all up for grabs for them. All they need to do is finish races, really, and they should move up there.
What is interesting, of course, though, is both teams have won eight races each, with Luke McHugh currently in the lead in the team poll award as well. So quite interesting. And then we have APK SimSport, who will be looking to overhaul Luke McHugh Racing. That, of course, has Matt Cecil and Darren Kemp behind the wheels in their Ford Falcon FGXs. They're about 400 points behind, but you'd imagine if they can keep their noses clean and just have some double finishes in each round, they should jump ahead by the skin of their teeth. And Kiwi SimSports in 4th place ahead of LLM Juniors Academy, with a good 300-point gap to the KSS underdeveloped squad, which has been improving at least pace-wise in recent rounds, which is good to see. Then we have PBF Scotch Smugglers leading the Super 3 teams points. They're ahead of WT Blackshaws, which of course only has Steve Warwick in the team. Tevez Shadow Racing, just under 200 points shy of the Cracker and Rhodey-led teams. Although we haven't had Cracker at too many rounds of late, he has moved, or it started the process of moving at least, back from the Northern Territory to back down to South Australia, and he hasn't had his rig, so that's why he's not been present of late. then, of course, Flinders Autosport rounding out the 10. That's the sole entry of Noah Tara. Alright, Snipes, looks like we're just about to tick over to the qualifying session. Although we have had, by the look of it, Steve Warwick just jump out. Hopefully he's able to get back in. I'm not sure actually if he has got back in, but we have 26 runners. This is going to be a chock-a-block field. And you're not going to want to start at the back here, Snipes, with there not being too many places to make up time.
Yeah, it's actually a reasonably tricky circuit to overtake, especially noting one of the best overtaking points being turn 6 is a very difficult spot to make a move. You need to have balls of steel and you need to get it right, or else you're going to be in the fence. So that really leaves Dandenong Road, which is also a bit of a brave spot, and I think turn 1 is probably going to be the spot that sees the most action, but it's also bumpy on the inside. So, it's a challenge to pass here, no doubt.
Yeah, turn 1, I think a few people in the Enduro Cup found out the hard way. The inside, even though it is the ideal passing spot on the circuit, you do have to brake earlier than the cars on the outside, because those bumps will cause lockups. But qualifying now underway, drivers out on the circuit. Zach Brown, the leading car on the circuit. Now, he was looking pretty handy in the practice sessions earlier on in the week, but obviously other drivers have just started to get ahead of him as the week has gone on. But look for him to pick up some solid results, should he, of course, put together a solid qualifying effort and not make any mistakes. Looking to pick up where other drivers drop off, just like his Winton round earlier on in the year, albeit I don't think tyres will be too much of an issue around this circuit.
Certainly got some pace, does Zach. His pace, his position in the championship very much not reflective of his pace, so he will look to move forwards in basically innings. We look to have a bit of a race towards the start line here to get a lap going. Everyone wants to get out in front and go. Looks like Bailey Hall's leading that pack now.
Now, speaking of Bailey Hall, now his car does look slightly different. That's because it is different. It's not a VE Commodore. It is, of course, the next-gen VF Commodore. He has been promoted up to the Super 2 class, and thankfully we did, because he was obviously fastest in the practice session that has just gone, and it'd be pretty embarrassing to have a Super 3 car out on pole. So he has been promoted. His pace has definitely warranted it, and he'll be looking to put that to good use here. He has been the fastest in the practice sessions so far. Scott Higginson close behind him so far at the start of this lap, but as you can see, that run through turn 4 for Higginson compromised by his exit at turn 3, and he's already dropped a little bit of time, but certainly getting a nice serving of slipstream here in the run to turn number 6. And 41.1, and that's very wide from Higginson. I imagine that'll be a track cut. It'll be certainly very close to it. Has been able to drag back the visual gap as he once again lights it up and costs himself time. So Bailey Hall here will be the first man to set a lap, provided he hasn't picked up a track cut. And with that slipstream, Higginson actually did set purple middle sector 14.9. 109.0 for Hall. Zach Brown a 108.9, so solid start from him. And then a large gap to Matt Cecil, Luke Yeager, and Hayden Felipe. Oh, that's Higginson off into the boonies. And Matt Cecil in behind as well, also running wide there at turn number 1.
Higginson guilty of just trying to push a bit too hard there, trying to find a bit too much time into turn 1, and missed his braking marker, sent it off into the fence instead of Bailey Hall. A very good move there at the very least. We got times coming in thick and fast now. Noah Tara's moved himself up to 3rd there. Zach Brown currently sitting on pole with a 108.9, so expect times to get a bit faster than that. I thought that first lap from Bailey Hall though was very tidy. Yeah,
certainly a good solid bank. You just want to get a nice solid lap underneath your belt before you try anything more adventurous. And here we are on screen at the moment. Parallax, one of the newcomers to the series for this one. Nice little livery on this one, not too overly complicated. I'm not sure if Monster do have any of these red products here in Australia, but obviously running a Monster livery inspired by obviously Tickford with the old Falcon on the sides. It's just going to try and scroll through here. Got Rody, who was up 0.5 in his time. He's going to get track cut there. He's currently in 14th. Brat's now moved up to 7th. Taipan to the line. He's up to 12th. 1 minute 10.5. He'll be hoping for more time. Another driver that is new to the series, of course, Reese McIlvray. I'm going to butcher that name, so I do apologise. McIlvray. Currently sitting in 11th, so a good solid start from him. Of course, he's in the Super 3 class with the FG Falcon there. He's got a nice tow from Matt Cecil.
He's looking reasonably handy. His times in practice have got him up towards the top 10, actually. So that's certainly handy pace for a Super 3 runner.
Oh, and he's got Cecil in front of him. It's just wobbled off the road. As we said, there's one victim down there at Dandenong Road.
The first of many tonight. It looks like Reese has bumped his lights on here. But it looks to be a reasonable lap. See if he can finish it off here.
Yeah, he was up on his own time. Not the most ideal line through the last two corners there, but I would imagine he's still going to find time here. And he goes to P4. Woo. So, good solid time. 109.5. Overall, from all the times I've seen, it's the 11th fastest time. But because no one else has been able to put together a lap, he's gone P4 here. So, good solid effort there. And of course,
there's plenty of time, obviously, in the session for it to all change. We're only just over halfway through, Lewis. But yes, it's definitely a good time to be having on the board.
And there we are. Cheese has gone to the top. Only 1,000th of a second ahead of Zach Brown. Zach Brown on his previous lap was actually ahead of his own previous time in the first sector. But obviously couldn't string it all together. And now Lockie Lock and Nathan Higginson both improved. So times coming in thick and fast, and Cheese is up again by a very minute amount, but you'll take any amount around this circuit.
Absolutely, it's hard to find time, especially once you do get towards these upper echelons on pace. It's harder to find time the faster you go. So he's definitely be pushing, but I don't think that the sort of time we'll be getting pole. I'd expect it to be beaten by a couple of tenths at least. Bit of traffic. Taipan's getting out of the way though. That would be teamwork.
Yeah, nice teamwork there. And couldn't quite get the nose in at that, what I call the final corner. That little kink there technically is the final corner, but it's flat out. And he's found more time still. And that is a very solid banker to put down. That may be good enough. That's at least good enough, I reckon, Snipes, for the front two rows. And we'll see if other people can improve and perhaps get him, he might stay on the front row with that time.
It's very possible. People look. You're seeing a lot of traffic to deal with for a lot of the drivers out there, and he's given Rody a bit of a hurry up as he's tried to find more time. But that will be his lap over. He'll pull it off and go back to the garage. Very good lap. Yeah, I'd agree with you. That would secure top two rows. I think that's fair. Possibly P2-3. I don't think it's good enough to hold. We'll see though.
We will see. If everyone puts their laps together, he will drop down a few spots, but qualifying sessions are a different beast to the week-long practice sessions. So you're right on board. Zach Brown is beginning another flying lap. Couldn't quite get on the power early enough coming out of turn 4. He's up on the pole time, but he's down on his personal best, and I don't think this is going to be too good of a middle sector. He wasn't able to get on the power as early as what you'd like here down this long run to turn 6. And again, he is up on the pole time, but he's lost ground to his own time. Able to get it in. Not too bad there, Dandy Road.
Yeah, no, if he can just get this final sector right, if he can find these apexes in the last couple of corners, Lewis, this could be on.
And no track cuts there at the second last corner. It does have Laszlo Teglas in front of him, and he's also got, that may have been McGillivray, sorry, in front of him. He has improved, but Cheese's final sector reigns supreme at the moment. So he gets closer, not quite close enough though for Brown, but there is time for him to improve as he cuts to Bailey Hall. Obviously his lap has not been a good one, so he'll try and go again. Lockie Lock here, what can he do? Not an ideal first sector. And his middle sector not too flash either. So we'll cut away Nathan Higginson. And, well, he's well down in the first split. So I don't think he's any real threat. As we got Noah Tara parked in the pit exit, letting people go, but he's not going to get back round again to start a lap here. He's got 1 minute and 5 seconds to get to the start-finish line, which is earlier in the straight than that line there. He's not. I don't think he's going to make it in time though.
He's going to have to send it. He's going to have to absolutely send it to have a chance.
Yep. So cut back to Cheese, and he's down on his own personal best, and of course pole time in the first sector by 10th and a half. I don't think he's going to claw that back, as we have Peter Thrower improve his time to go 12. Zach Brown coming into the pit, so he's going to be at least, or at best, second. Bailey Hall isn't able to get the nose in at the top of the hill. They've got a car off there in front of him as well. There's another car off down there at Dandy Road. So there's at least a second victim as he gets all squirrely on the exit. And, well, we did see Cheese have a monumental final sector. What can Hall do here? This is all the curb on the exit. Is it like a motocross berm? And, yeah, of course, he's well off there. Locky Lock doesn't improve either. Now, really, well, Noah Tara doesn't get around in time. Nathan Higginson really the only one that could contend for that pole spot, but he's 4/10 down at the second split. Massive lock up at Dandy Road on the curb on the inside as well. The car completely unsettled and sideways, and that is not how you go fast around this circuit.
That'll be that lap ended, and if it wasn't, well, it's over now after that huge lock-up moment into the last couple of corners there. He's still pressing on with it, so perhaps he's green or perhaps he just wants to finish it. He just wanted to finish it. Yeah, unfortunate there. Now, Hall did get around in time to get a last flying lap in, I believe. He got to the start-finish before the checkered, so... but I think he is down, to be fair, through the first two sectors. We'll have to see, nevertheless, as to whether he goes for it.
According to Live Races, it's 2 greens, but I did see on the last little check through that, in-game anyway, that he wasn't quite there. And he goes to the line, doesn't improve, but he's 0.003 of a second off his personal best. So at least he's consistent, but he would have preferred to find the time he did in practice than the time he's been able to manage here. But still, very respectable second row start. And Cheese will start this one from pole position. Now, I'm trying to remember. I'll probably have to have Rossi send me a message and let me know. But that may be his...
This is his first. He's dancing around the living room right now, Lewis. I'm telling you. He literally got up and did a victory dance.
Well, if we could get some live footage of the dancing, that'd be hilarious for the stream. So
I wish I could get you some live footage, actually.
So,
he danced a bit hard and spilled a bit of beer, so he's probably going to tone it down a bit. But yes, no, that is his first pole position, and he's very pleased about it. He's not happy with the lap either. The classic race car driver vibes.
That is 100% the mannerisms of a race driver. Get pole position and still don't be happy with the lap. Even if it's your first, it doesn't matter. Not happy with the lap. Gets pole position, but still not satisfied. But is still satisfied enough to do a dance. So it's all over the place there. But congratulations to Cheese. Zach Brown, that may be his best qualifying effort as well on the front row. So great. I'd say it's a bit of a mix-up here. At least the top 3 seem, compared to what we've seen throughout the year, they're just out of position a little bit and a little bit higher than what we've seen throughout the season so far, Snipe. So good session, I'd say.
Yeah, well, if you look at our 2 championship contenders, they're still right beside each other in 4th and 5th. So yeah, a bit displaced to where they perhaps normally qualify or where they feel they possibly should be. But yeah, Cheese, Zach Brown, excellent effort to get that front row from both of them. Cheese has actually put in practice this week, and look at that. He can qualify a car when he practices. So he'll be hoping to come good in the race. But yeah, Zach Brown's shown some really, really good pace throughout this last year, I think. So good reward for him there too. Yeah, particularly the last couple of months, he's definitely come on strong quite a bit and has improved. So obviously he did pick up a win at Winton, but that was more of a battle of tyres, more so than outright speed. Qualifying though, that's where you need to have outright speed. And clearly with that qualifying effort,
and the effort that he's shown during the week in practice, that yeah, he's got a little bit of pace and right in the mix. But it is interesting though that the guys that we have seen set the fast times during the week in practice, they are behind those front three. So it should make for an interesting race where we've got some guys probably slightly out of position looking to move forward, with championship implications also thrown into the mix as well. So it does have all the ingredients tonight for some entertaining racing, but also for a bit of biff.
Yeah, I mean, a field this big, competitiveness throughout the field, yeah, there'll be a bit of biff. This track's hard to race on. But it's great to see a bit of a mix-up at the front. Also, a note I've been handed from the producer very recently. This will be, of course, Darren Kemp's 100th race start. So good for Darren Kemp there. I remember when he started in Super 2 at the time, AMS Oz, I believe, and he's come along. So good effort, Darren.
Yeah, so I could just cut away from the splash screen and just get him up on the screen. So yeah, that's 100 starts in the Dev/Super 2 series, or I can't remember if that's just the series overall. I think it is just for Dev Series/Super 2. But either way, congratulations, the big 100. We did have Matt Cecil bring it up at the previous round at Townsville. So number of drivers racking up some milestones. I should be interested to see some of the other stats out there. I know Rossi does have a stats Excel sheet that is put together, but I can't remember the link to it. So yeah, I can't bring up all these details. But yeah, he's certainly been around for a little while now, old Kempy, and still one of the most difficult men to pass on a pixelated race circuit, that is for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. He's provided many a headache for many driver for now many seasons. And I don't feel it's going to slow down anytime soon, Lewis.
Yeah, he seems quite content and quite happy out there on the race circuit. And that's the main thing, really. As long as people out there are enjoying their racing, that's the aim of the game. I know some people out there want to be up there racing at the front of the field or winning races, and if they're not, then it doesn't matter. But I mean, personally for me, when you start putting that pressure on yourself, it just doesn't become enjoyable anymore. So you take that away, you just go out there, and wherever you finish, as long as you do your best and don't get punted off. Looking at Nathan Higginson in particular, it's actually quite enjoyable. So yeah, it's quite amazing when you do have that mindset change.
Yeah, well, that's the mantra I've gone into this year with in supercars, Lewis. The old not nowhere near as much practice. Turn up, give it a hoon, come last, and go sweet as. You know, and it's been good. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than doing 400 laps of practice, getting all worked up, and then getting knocked off in the 5th lap, and all that practice was for nothing. I mean, I've done both. I've done obviously this year and stuff. I've gone through with the old no practice until race night mantra, and then in the past I've gone through and done all the laps of practice and tried to get results, and in the end it just becomes more of a chore than anything. So it's a lesson for those guys out there. But yeah, just a minute away here in the warm-up session. We may just take a short break here just so we can get ourselves ready for the opening race and make sure we don't have to take any breaks during that first race. So we'll take a short break, but we'll be back in a minute or so's time for race number 1 from Sandown. Don't go anywhere. And there it is, the siren of destiny for one of these drivers for race number 1. And of course, we are back from our short little ad break. Or, well, I wouldn't say ad break, actually. It's more of a, let's be honest, it was a toilet break and a drinks break. Yeah. I've restocked my whiskey and cola for race number 1 as well.
New beer.
Yeah, so we're stocked up and ready to go. The big question is, are the drivers stocked up and ready to go? Hopefully, well, I know one is. Well, that'll be Cheese. Cheese is stocked up. What is his drink of choice right now, if you just have a look on his desk?
Currently, he's drinking an Export 33, which is brewed for 33% longer. Less carbs. Amazing.
I'm guessing that's a beer.
Yeah, it's a beer. Yeah, beer. Sorry.
Here we go.
4.5%.
All right. Well, I'll better knock it over to you pretty quickly here, because it's a lot of cars in a short time here, Snipes. So lead us through the grid here for race number 1.
Yeah, no worries there, Lewis. Out of pole position, Cheese, representing Kiwi Sim Sports, and alongside him on the second row, an excellent effort from Zach Brown. Starting out of P3, we have Bailey Hall. Good effort from him, right up the field, as we thought he would be. Lockie Lock out of P4 here. And behind him is Noah Turra.
Okay.
Out of P5, a bit strange. And Higginson's down at P8. And P6, Justin Cecil there. And then P7 is Ayrton Felipe. Alongside him is Nathan Higginson out of P8. I must have missed that. Matt Cecil out of P9, reasonable effort from him. And Reese McGillivray on debut, P10, good effort. Then out of 11th, we have Brap, followed by Cheese's teammate Peter Thrower out of P12. Darren Lockman out of P13 with Luke Yeager alongside him. We then have Brandon Dostal in P15, Typad starting in P16. Returning Netherrealmian coming out of P17 tonight, with Brian Walsh starting alongside him. And finalising our 10th row, we have Rhodey out of P19 and Hayden Cuppet out of P20. Good to see Hayden Cuppet back here. Then we have Parallax, as he is in game, out of P21 on debut tonight, so let's hope he goes well for the Super 3 category, alongside Melody Smith. Laszlo Teglis starting out of P23 tonight, with Glenn Miles out of P24. Steve Warwick starting sadly back at P25 after dropping out just before qualifying, so that is one to watch move forward. And Darren Kemp alongside him. Christian Shadow rounding out our grid there at P27. 27 cars. Massive.
27 cars here. I'm not sure what happened with Higginson there. I'm not sure if there was maybe an error with the batch file or something happened late in the qualifying session that I missed. I'm not too sure. But yeah, there we go. He'll start from P8 as we wait for the drivers to form to the grid. What is it? 27 drivers here. 27 drivers here in this short little racetrack. What could go wrong is it's the question that comes to my mind. I don't know if it's the same for everybody else, but hopefully we can all get through cleanly, and hopefully Steve Warwick, for his sake, and for anybody that watches the series, really, hopefully he can get through nice and clean, because he's had a shocking run of luck as the lights are on. Away we go. Both the front runners off the start of the front row got a fairly even start. Peter Throw, a little bit of contact and sideways there in the back. Nice start from Higginson, already up into 4th place. A little bit of contact with Lockie Lock. Here we go. A little bit of biff and barge through turn number 1. But the race is underway. And already side-by-side action. And Noah Turra getting it sideways there.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of biff and barge there. Top 5 starting to break away already as the mid-pack sort themselves out. 3 wide, 4 wide at points down the circuit. Someone's off at the background. Yeah, everyone's just trying to sort themselves out. Lap 1 is always hectic. Always hectic. Definitely one to watch out for as Cheese hits turn 6 for the first time. He's built himself a little bit of a lead over Zach Brown.
And Zach Brown got Bailey Hall right behind him. Then we have Nathan Higginson, Lockie Lock, Justin Cecil, Ayrton Felipe, Noah Turra, and that's Taipan off. We did see some contact with Dan Kemp down the down the old back straight there. I don't know if that continued, and Laszlo Teglas has gone around and got Darren Kemp off in the background as well. So I'm not exactly what happened there. May have to cut to a bit of a replay here. So here we go, side by side, Darren Kemp and Taipan, and that's a family feed right there from Taipan on Darren Kemp. Bit of dramas there, but back live, and Cheese, he'll be hoping Zach Brown does him a solid here. And blocks Bailey Hall, who has been the fast man in practice. But of course, Zach Brown will be hoping just to be nice and consistent, just stay with Cheese at this early point.
Absolutely. A lead starting to pull out now. We're approaching that kind of second window, and Bailey Hall all over the back of Zach Brown. I mean, not right on him, but still will be applying enough pressure that Zach Brown will be looking at his mirrors, getting close towards the braking zone, but of course, nowhere near close enough to be able to make a move.
Brown's wide.
Him out of it.
Brown's wide, but he's wide at the awkward point, so Bailey Hall couldn't just send it up the inside. He just didn't have the space to do it because Brown was running wide there. And here we go. A bit of a train now behind Zach Brown, bringing Higginson into play. And, a bit of a mistake there from Bailey Hall. That's going to invite Higginson to make a move on Bailey Hall. Bit of bump driving down the pit straight. Higginson's just going to go for the move, is he? It looks like he is.
He wants to move forward, does Nathan Higginson. Will he get a stop in time?
There's those bumps in play. Able to pull it up as we got Noah Tara and Ed and Felipe exchanging positions in the background. This is all good news here for Cheese and for Zach Brown, who's going to have at least half a lap, possibly a lap of a bit of a rest with Bailey Hall coming under threat from Nathan Higginson. Locky Lock now coming into play further back. Of course, Noah Tara down 2 spots from the start, just getting by Felipe. McGillivray has had a solid start up 1 ahead of Matt Cecil. He's also got Luke Yeager up 11 spots, up 3 spots into 11th. And then of course Darren Lock.
I thought I heard something. I thought I saw something, but I did not. It was just a
sound.
Looking down here, Peter Thrower looking to make a move on Brett. Perhaps he'll definitely want to get
dive!
Down.
I thought that's smart heads-up driving from Brapp. He's forced a mistake, but then he's made a mistake himself as Peter Thrower coming out of that final turn at turn 13.
That's a tough spot to pass there. Peter Thrower very well might have got a track cut. No, did he post a lap there? He did post a lap. But that's a very easy spot to get a track cut too.
And, they're both wide there. Both over the bumps, just struggling to pull the car up. So they're just struggling a little bit. Steve Warwick's had a solid start to this one after starting at the back after obviously dropping out with net issues. He's up 10 spots, and in the background where you can see Hayden Cuppet off the road there. So, and I don't know if he has damage, but he's definitely struggling out there. But as we cycle our way forward once again, and it is once again battle joined between Zach Brown and Bailey Hall. Cheese now 2.1 seconds clear, and he'll be hoping just to keep it nice and clear here with that nice gap. 2 seconds around this circuit is fairly significant here, Snipes. With there's not too many corners where you can make up time.
Yeah, look, if you're breaking out of that slipstream range, it's certainly going to be helping you a lot. A lot of the speed comes down the 2 straights, obviously, in this circuit. So you can... Oh, jeepers creepers, as Bailey Hall incredibly deep on Zach Brown. Did well to avoid a bit of an accident there, so fair play to him. But that would have been a brown pants moment there. I've been myself in that situation, and it's rough.
Yes, I've definitely got moments from turn 1 from last year that I'd rather not have to relive. But very, very close to Zach Brown, and thankfully both cars able to get through it cleanly. Exactly what Cheese wants. Gap now 2.6 seconds.
Completely out of slipstream range there, so they're not going to really be getting any effect from Cheese in front of them, punching a hole through the air, and they're battling. So it's exactly what he wants. Yeah, so Brown did have a little bit of respite, but then locked up into turn 6, and obviously ran wide, and didn't want to pick up a track cut at turn 7, that little right-hand kink there. Or as I like to call it, the Pro Cut corner, because when I went there for the State Series last year, the Pro Cut Holden, I think it was a Monaro in the improved production, did like to take some fairly relaxed liberties with the track limits down there.
But
You'll be right, mate.
yeah, it should be right. It's state series. I don't pick that stuff up. They haven't got... Oh, there goes Higginson. He's gone. He's in on the fence. And he's just... I think he's just gone a little bit too wide on the curb. And there's a little bit of nasty bump there. Cecil's gone around it well. It's going to wipe out Jaeger, unfortunately. And, well, drivers now just starting to make some mistakes at turn 1. And there's another car around. Who's that? That's, Who is it? That's Justin Cecil. What's happened to him? He was battling with... We've just cut to a replay here. So he just lost it. He's a little bit spooked with Tara looking to have a move, and Higginson sort of off the track as well. And then we have, obviously, the Cecil and Jaeger incident. Only all happening down there at the moment. And we've got a safety car. We have a safety car. Just going to cycle through it, try and find what that's all about. That is exactly what Cheese did not want.
Yeah, no. You don't want that when you've worked hard for a bunch of the race to bring out a lead, but that many cars off the circuit, it was always kind of going to happen there, especially with one almost stopped on circuit. But now the mentality changes to just guys forward, get ready to do it again.
Yeah, so I'm going to hazard a guess. Obviously, we had Justin Cecil was stationary. He was fairly close to the racing line. And we did have, obviously, Matt Cecil and Luke Jaeger go pretty close to him. So I'm guessing the game there, that's what's triggered it. And yeah, he's been static there for a while just to let the field go by safely. So that's caused a safety car. But we've got Taipan now coming into the pits in 23rd. He'll, well, he should be right. The safety car has picked up the leader. So he won't go a lap down. And not a bad idea, I guess, from those guys at the back of the field to put some freshies on and have a crack here.
If you're at the back, there's absolutely no loss for you if you're at the back to slap on some fresh softs and give it a go. Especially if you have a bit of pace, you've done a bit of work, you know the circuit reasonably well, and you're confident that you can move past a few people. Because obviously a safety car compresses the field heavily. It's not quite lap 1, but it feels very similar. So it's definitely an opportunity to go forwards.
Yeah, so just cycling through here, I'm just going to go... If I was, say, pretty much anyone from Hayden... Well, yeah, if I was Hayden, maybe Hayden Cuppet, but Melody Smith on back in the Super 3 class, I'd box. Darren Kemp probably can't afford to. He needs to make up as many places as he can, unless he's got some damage that, you know, he should fix. And probably good idea to do so. But, yeah, Justin Cecil, Glenn Miles, obviously Matt Cecil we did see in the pits as well as Teglas, and I think Perlix may have also pitted. Taipan did pit. I think probably a good idea for those guys to, yeah, just come in the pits, put some fresh tyres on, and you'll definitely have an advantage for the last 3 or 4 laps, and, you know, losing those 1 or 2 positions isn't really going to cost you anything. So, got nothing to lose at... stage for those guys. Someone that does have something to lose is this man on screen who's led all the way so far, and he'll be hoping to just get a nice getaway and hoping that Zach Brown's asleep at the wheel once the race goes green.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the advantage you get is you get to call it, really. Once it's safe to do so, you get to put your foot on the gas and drive away, and no one can go till you go. So you just hope that you can catch the guy out behind you just a little bit there and get a bit of if he can get a little bit of breathing room, he'll be feeling considerably more comfortable. Yeah, he had a great start off the line and just pulled out the lead while everyone behind him battled. He'll be hoping that happens again.
Yeah. So, yeah, car 747 will be hoping for clearance for takeoff on the safety car restart. With, of course, Zach Brown right in behind. Race long battle with Bailey Hall, who probably a little bit unfortunate when he's been right behind Zach Brown and Zach Brown's made a mistake. He's done it at this point of the circuit, but done it in a way that balks Bailey Hall. And then when he has sort of had a look, he's not quite been close enough at turn 1 as well. So this is a vital point in the race when we do go green. Best opportunity of the race for Bailey Hall to get by Zach Brown. And of course, good opportunity here for Lockie Lock to try and snatch another position or 2. And
looks like we're going around another.
Yeah.
One more under the safety car here.
Yeah, so no one's been warming their tyres. And normally that's the cue when you see drivers start to warm their tyres at the front of the field.
I've even got a better cue, Lewis. I can screen cheat here, and I can confirm it as green flag next time around. So the marshals have cleared up any debris that was around the circuit. We're good to go.
Yeah, Fabian Coulthard's gone. He has been cleared and sent off to TCR. So we are good to go at the end of this lap. And for those that did miss it in the Enduro Cup last year, I did put some Easter eggs in, and there's one of Rosella's Fruiterers, and that is indeed Luke Rosella in the stand there. So he will give you some cold beverages and some fruit, but if you are looking for a hot dog or something you'd want at a sporting event, they're not going to have it. So or he's not going to have it. There's a number of them around the circuit, so do look out for them. And there is one that is hidden around the back of the circuit that you won't see. But here we are here, Snipes. A number of these drivers not warming their tyres, so obviously they don't want to wear them out too much, but you do want some kind of temp in them when you do get going again, though.
Yeah, it's definitely ideal to just, even if you just warm them up a little bit, get a few of the old wiggles in across the track to just get some heat into the front. Can help prevent you locking up easily, or prevent it more so. So yeah, and you obviously want warmer rears so you can get grip out of corners. It's pretty hard to drive on cold tyres, so, but all the drivers here seem to be favouring just keeping them cool for the exchange of less wear.
So as you can see on the screen, massive queue of cars. 27 drivers have started this race, and all of them still going at the moment. Safety car peels in. And it will be Cheese will be the man to lead us away when we do go racing again. Holding the speed, away he goes. I think he's caught Zach Brown just sleeping a little bit. And he's got a sizable gap. He's just got to pull it up at turn 1 now. In fact, the first 3 got a nice sizable gap. He's got Higginson and Noah Turra side by side into turn 1 here. Turra going defensive. Little bit of contact. Turra holding on for now, and Steve Warwick there in the background. He's done a real solid job. We've also got 2 Super 3 cars in McGillivray and Lochnan battling it out right in front of him for class honours as well. So lots to play for here, as that's Jaeger sideways in the background on the exit to turn 4, as Steve Warwick trying to fend off Brendan Dostal.
Yeah, certainly lots to play for throughout the field. Many storylines evolving as they go through turn 6. Once again, it's looking pretty clean from the front 3 at least. Lockie Lock looked a little bit sideways, but he got it pulled up in time. Everyone clean through there. No one side by side just yet. And yes, Lewis, great point. Excellent effort from the 2 Super 2 runners occupying P7 and Super 3 runners, occupying P7 and P8 as we see. Matt Cess with a big dive down there.
Yeah, we'll just cut to it, see if he pulled it off. Got Dostal and Warwick still battling it out. Warwick, all kinds of sideways. Wrap into the side of Dostal as well. Battling for sheep stations down there, as they are further down with Glenn Miles and Matt Cecil and Melody Smith. Justin Cecil, Taipan has gone off the road. It's all happening down the back of the field. At the front of the field, slight gap now to Cheese. A little bit of breathing room to Zach Brown, who's got Bailey Hall behind him. They've dropped Lockie Lock, and Lockie Lock keeping, I think, more of an eye on his mirrors with Noah Turra, who's started to close up behind him, and Nathan Higginson as well, not too far away.
For Lockie Lock here, it's not too bad realistically being 4th here, because Nathan Higginson is in 6th, so he's still gaining points. Obviously Cheese, who is 3rd in the standings, is leading the race, but still, it's not a disaster to be finishing where you are finishing if you can hold it there.
Oh, and here go, he's 2 laps in a row, he's almost binned it at the top there. And one would think that if he keeps driving the way he's driving, there's going to be at least one race where he's not going to get that. He's not going to catch that car, and he's going to find himself buried within some tyres with some wheel alignment issues. So once again, Cheese leading the way, 5/10 of a second ahead of Zach Brown. So he did lose a little bit of time on that last lap. That slipstream will be punching a nice hole for Zach to obviously stay close to him, and a lock up there at turn 1 isn't going to help him. These front 3 very, very close together here.
Yeah, very much not over at the end of the race at all here, Lewis.
Make mistake there from Brown. He's dropped time to Cheese, and he's got Bailey Hall right there. Will Bailey Hall pull the trigger? No, he's not quite had the ideal run. Does have the toe. Not quite close enough. We've got another safety car. What has happened here? I'm going to cycle through. Oh, we've got...
Creepers.
Matt Cecil and Brian Walsh. Matt Cecil's warping all over the place. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I'm going to hazard a guess. He's rolled over, and the game doesn't know how to handle it here. Or maybe he's outside of track limits. I don't know. But let's just have a look here on the old replays that we have. So we've got Ryan Walsh just wobbling there. Matt Cecil's had nowhere to go up the inside. And then I think at that point he's rolled maybe. Obviously, the game does funny things in the replays with rollovers. And yeah, maybe he's rolled over the fence. I don't know. Probably on his roof. Obviously, Ryan Walsh around. Multiple cars around with these guys stationary. That's called that Matt Cecil has DNF. So, I'm not sure there. We may see something in the live chat as well. Geez, almost jumped into the back of the safety car. And just a reminder as well that it's green-white checker. There's one green-white checker lap. So when the safety car does pull in once again, it will be one final dash to the line. So, well,
We've had a couple of them. We've had a couple of them this season.
I think we had. Did we have two at Townsville? I know we had one at Townsville. We've had one almost every 2 rounds so far. So hopefully in future seasons, drivers do learn to, not crash. As often, at least. But yeah, Cheese, he thought he was so close he could taste the champagne. Or an extra sip of beer in his case. Or perhaps even crack open a new can or stubby. Unfortunately, he's got one more racing lap to contend with Zach Brown. So for him, I think the big thing is going to be turn 1 here, Snipes. If he can get through turn 1 without locking up and making a mistake, he should be okay. If he doesn't, he's going to have pressure for the rest of the lap.
Absolutely. And one thing with turn 1 is obviously coming off a safety car restart, you're not going to quite hit it with the same velocity that you would have otherwise on a racing lap. So braking at your standard marker is actually going to pull you up early. So if some drivers may be more aware of that than other drivers, and you can lose or gain a lot of time potentially by getting it right. But if you overstep the mark, which is easy to do when you're kind of winging it a little bit, it's big problems.
Yeah. Certainly is. But, massive free kick for definitely Lockie Lock, Noah Turra and Nathan Higginson, who completely dropped off the back of the front 3. And also a bit of a shame for Reese McGillivray, who had built up a gap over Darren Loughnane just prior to the safety car being called. Not sure, we didn't see it on the screen. I didn't see it anyway, but I did see that there was a bit of a gap between the two in the background in one of the shots. So perhaps Loughnane had made a slight mistake, and McGillivray had been a couple seconds clear and probably would have taken class honours, but he, just like Cheese, has got one more lap of work, of racing work anyway, to do to at least claim class honours, and it does give Loughnane an opportunity to pick up some points. Of course, he is ahead of his championship rival in Super 3, Brody, who's currently down in 14th. He'll be hoping for a few cars to drop off in between him and, of course, Loughnane.
So this is where you want to really focus again on getting that good start. I've never personally been in this scenario leading a field to a green-white checker, but I imagine if you can get a really good start and do what he did last time off the restart, drop Zach Brown, that'll relieve so much pressure to get himself comfortably through turn 1. And from there on, it's just drive your lap.
Yep, so safety car going around again. I would imagine the next one, at the end of the next one, I should say, will go racing again. Now, what will be interesting here, Snipes, I know we've had a previous safety car period, but we do know that drivers from time to time, well, let's face it, all the time, do like to try and cut it short on fuel and don't really bank on this stuff. So now that we've had another safety car, I wonder if there's some drivers out there who may be just a little bit tight on fuel out there.
I fancy there possibly could be. And this safety car is actually going to go for another lap. So, yeah, you've got to get through another couple of laps here. Obviously, these ones behind the safety car, you can be ultra conservative, which is super, super handy. But yeah, it's certainly a bit of a, let's say, tradition to short fuel your car a little bit to make sure you get the fuel to get to the end. But still be light, because more fuel equals more weight, and more weight means more go slow.
It certainly does. So I'm just going to go through here and listen, as you say. You said there's going to be another lap after this one, correct? That's going to be...
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so just listen. So Cheese is definitely obviously doing a little bit of, pulling the clutch in. A little bit of fuel saving. Zach Brown is definitely pulling in the clutch. Bailey Hall, he's got some throttle on everywhere. He's not. Lockie Lock isn't. Noah Tara isn't. Hugo's definitely pulling in clutch. McGillivray isn't. Lochnan, he's not. Brapp, he's not. Warwick, he isn't. Philippi, he's not. Jaeger isn't. I'm just going to cut to the leaders just to double check we're not going green here. No, safety car is going around again. So, what's Luke Jaeger doing here on the pit straight? No, he's not saving fuel. The Realmian, is he saving fuel? Nope. Rody. He's not. Darren Kemp. No, he's still got some throttle and he's not pulling in the clutch. Shadow. Or Christian Alvarez, I should say. No, he's not. Oh, Justin Cecil is a little bit. Taipan. You have seen him pit. He may have added fuel in one of his pit stops. And Miles isn't. Well, these guys now coming into braking zones at the moment. And of course Matt Cecil out of the race. But yeah, I do wonder if there may be one or two drivers that could be very, very tight here. Of course, another thing to remember, these races are time certain if there's too many safety cars. So we will get another lap in. Then if it doesn't go green at the end of this one, the next one will probably be the final lap.
I'm expecting it to go green here at the end of this lap here. So, although it's saying 15 out of 17 laps now, so perhaps I suppose we'll find out. I'm expecting green.
Yeah. So, just seeing Tim Schenken, aka Rossi96, in the chat saying that it will be green this time around. Of course, there's going to be less than a minute remaining when they cross the start-finish line, so it will be times. Well, won't be time certain. They will go to green-white checker. But had there been another safety car period, it would have been time certain. Seeing Matt Cecil in the chat, first DNF for 69 races in Super 2. So there you go. Safety car is in. And Cheese will be hoping for another solid start. He has got a time penalty, but that will be cleared because obviously AMS does AMS things. He's got the jump. He has got the jump here. As in the background, looks like Steve Warwick's defending from Ayrton Filippi. And Noah Turra may have been jumped by Nathan Higginson there. I may just have a look at that at a later point. A little bit of a slide from Cheese. Got Bailey Hall having a look at Zach Brown, who gives him probably a little bit too much space there. A bit of different barge between Higginson and Turra there.
Cars are all off in the background there, Lewis. A bunch of them have gone off towards
that's
3.
Who is that in the background? It's another... Well, it was a yellow. It's another Elmian and Filippi. So let's just cut to a quick squiz of a replay. So, Steve Warwick had... I'm not sure what happened to Nether. Nether got rear-ended by Rody and Filippi got rear-ended by, I think it was Turra. But we have Cheese in the lead here. He's built up 7/10. Provided he does...
get it right here. Just needs to get it right, Lewis.
Yep, just 2 corners, really, he's got to worry about here. He's just got to worry about now for the traction zone. Keep it nice and straight, which he has done. He'll have his hand aloft, I would hope. Because
he sure does. He really does.
And there it is. Victory for Cheese in Super 2 ahead of Zach Brown and Bailey Hall. Lockie Lock coming home in position 4 ahead of Noah Tara. Higginson in 6th, and a good debut for McGillivray in Super 3, finishing 7th overall ahead of Darren Loughnane. So good effort from both of those guys in Super 3 class to finish in the top 10 ahead of Brapp and Steve Warwick. Warwick dishing out the bad luck to someone else instead of receiving it for once. Luke Yeager in 11th after his drama's solid effort. Christian Alvarez in 12th. Good solid result from him, and a solid recovery for Darren Kemp after his first lap dramas to come home 13th ahead of Justin Cecil. Taipan in 15th. And we have Brandon Dostal 16th. Peter Thrower in 17th. Glenn Miles in 18th, up 6 spots ahead of Laszlo Teglas. Brian Walsh in 20th. Melody Smith in 21st. Parallax on debut in 22nd. Filippi with that last lap drama home in 23rd. Hayden Cuppet in 24th in his first race this year. Netherelmian after his late drama back in 25th with Rhodey in 26th. I think he redressed that, but I don't think Nether will be too pleased anyway. And then Matt Cecil, of course, our only retirement out of 26 drivers. And that was after, of course, we did go to overtime for that one. So everyone did complete the designated amount of laps, but of course we do go overtime with Great Wine Checkers. So, and I think Cecil would have been 1 lap over. No, he caused the first safety car, my bad. So he didn't quite get there in the end, but still, Snipes, see, fantastic result for Cheese and Zach Brown. Right there on merit, on pace this time, not just due to tyres and people mixing up strategies or falling off the road. And well deserved for those two, and definitely for Cheese, having to deal with a couple late safety cars there, having the nerve to get those good restarts.
Yeah, absolutely. And what it does also, noting it's a progressive grid, sets you up for the next one. You're off on pole. It's the same thing, reset on again. Quick side note on that, this is Cheese's first win since June last year. Our producer slipped us another note since, I believe it was Hidden Valley. So certainly a good effort, and it always feels good to win one, especially when it's been a while between drinks.
Well, I guess that's a long time between drinks in terms of on-track success. But I'm guessing Snipes, you can look over, and he's probably having a drink right now.
Yeah, he's just finished his drink. He's doing a bit of a hop around the lounge at this point in time. He's happy. He's qualified on pole and then converted it. I think it's the first time he's ever done that. So it's certainly a pleasing night of racing so far for my flatmate. But even though there were a couple of safety cars, Lewis, I actually thought the racing overall was quite good. There were some obvious mistakes, but mistakes can happen in the development series. But I thought the racing largely was quite good there.
From my perspective, definitely. I think it was the incidents that we did end up having were more down to mistakes and bad luck, more so than people trying over ambitious maneuvers and all that kind of jazz. So it's definitely good to see, but of course we still have a couple more races to go, and some drivers that Darren Kemp in particular, he's a driver that, and Taipan as well, you'd expect to be a little bit further up than where they finished that last run. Matt Cecil's another one, so they're out of position. It could cause dramas, could also, cause some good racing. So that's definitely going to be something to look out for. But yeah, overall, I think the driving standard had improved a little bit over what we saw at Townsville.
Certainly what you want. You need to have improvement. That's the whole point of it, for everyone to get better. And with experience, people will slowly get better. Good to see. Good race. I'm pretty pleased for my flatmate, and overall the general field. Some excellent debuts. I think that the two Super 3 runners right in the top 10 is excellent. Really, really good effort, especially noting they were battling.
Yeah, so McGillivray, I will get that right one day. So on debut, winning the class, always a solid effort. But of course, if he does that too consistently, may need to have a look at going up. But of course, he did have Loughnane right there with him as well for the majority of the race. They did battle it out for the class lead, and it's up to Rhodey now to step up. Of course, he's got a bit of work to do after that late contact with Netherelmian, and he did redress it by the looks of it as well. So he'll be starting a little bit further back than what he would have preferred. So yeah, bit of work to do from him, and as well as a number of drivers. Anyway, we'll take a short break. Of course, we will be back for races 2 and 3, but I definitely have to prepare myself. I don't know about you, Snipes, but yeah, definitely got to set myself up and get ready for race number 2.
Absolutely, got to fire up. Let's do it.
All right, catch you in a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere. Pardon me. And yeah, welcome back to round 8 of the Australasian Sim Racing Development Series from Sandown International Raceway. That's what I'm going to call it, instead of Sandown Motor Raceway. Where we've seen a pretty entertaining first race here with Cheese taking out his first win since Hidden Valley last year. He's also passed a nice statistic from that last race. Snipes, you'll have to correct if I'm wrong, because I think I probably am. Was that Christian Alvarez, was it, that was up 12 spots from where he started?
Up 15, in fact.
15.
He started 27th and finished that race P12, so certainly a really good effort from the Super 3 runner. Also, an interesting thing to note here, Lewis, the top 5 finished as they started.
Yeah, we actually we don't see that very often in this series. Normally there's a change of positions, or one of them gets fired off, one of them makes a mistake. So yeah, that's a very interesting tidbit there. That one. And one we don't see all that often. Still got a minute and a half for the warm-up session to go, although just seeing that Noah's having some issues at the moment with lag. So unfortunately, Noah Tara not going to be present for race 2, but hoping to get back in for race 3. Do have, I think it's 100% updated, but so I'll need Rossi to correct me if I'm wrong here. But updated point standings, of course, these are provisional from after the first race, where Nathan Higginson still leads the championship, of course, but his championship gap is now down to 50 points between himself and Lockie Lock. And of course, Cheese now, he's only 213 points off, and he was closer to 300, if not he was 300 over. But yeah, pretty close to 300 points away from the championship lead. So he's brought that gap down quite handily. Darren Kemp, of course, losing out. He's 444 points off the championship lead. Steve Warwick, 662. And Ben Hall now dropping down to 6th place. Justin Cecil in 7th ahead of Taipan. Matt Cecil in 9th. Luke Yeager in 10th. And just Rossi typing there in the Excel spreadsheet that yes, points are updated. So thank you, Mr. Producer Man. And even highlighting it for me, because I'm not entirely sober at this point, so I do need all the help I can get.
Yeah, look, it's a good effort from Rossi. He's always keeping us filled in and letting us know in excellent ways. Thank you for that. And good racing there. Definitely interesting in the top 10. If Cheese can continue this form, he will be able to make inroads into those top 2 runners there. But still a whole lot of racing between now and then.
Yeah, so whole lot of racing to go. We do have a drop round in play as well, so I'm not sure how that's going to affect him. I'm having a quick squeeze through all this, and he's actually been fairly consistent through most of it, so I'm not sure how it's going to affect him. This being Cheese, of course. Oh, I've had Zach Brown just leave the game right before the warm-up session ends here, so we may have a slight delay here. And
I imagine there would be for the front row to be able to form up as they finished. I'm still looking forward to this one. It'll be interesting to see if some of these runners that had less fortunate run, perhaps in race 1, can move forward. Yeah, looking at the likes of Matt Cecil. It'd be intriguing to see where Netherelmium goes, starting from the back. A bit of an intriguing litmus test into where he's at right now. I know he's just taking it casually though, so I'm sure he just wants to get around and not get sent.
Yep. Also, just looking at the live chat as well, did forget about Steve Warwick there. He was up 15 spots as well. He did have that drama in qualifying where he dropped out due to sumac, and I don't know if it was entirely a game issue or if it was just a net connectivity issue, but he started, of course, without a lap time down in, I think, like 25th or something like that, and ended up in the top 10. So yeah, great effort from him to just avoid the drama for once. I know he may have caused a little bit there at the end. He has put himself up for report there and apologised, which is always good to see. Him apologising for that. But if he's able to keep it clean in this one, we may see him even threatening those guys in the top 5. He has had some solid speed around this circuit, so hopefully he can get through for the remainder of the night and not have any bad luck. Because he's rivaling what I had last year and what Termo had the year before, where it was seemingly every race you're getting fired off by someone and it's completely not your fault. So I know what it's like, Steve, and hopefully at least this round for the remainder you can get through it cleanly. We are just waiting on Zach Brown to rejoin the server. Once he's back in, we shall tick over. There will only be 26 starters, of course, for the next race, with Noah Tara having some lag issues, opting to not jump back in here. As just seeing the batch filers run again, so I'm just going to see and double check if Zach Brown has rejoined, in which he has.
He sure has. Here we go.
There it is.
As you put it, the Siren of Destiny.
Yeah, there it is. And it was Destiny for one man in that last one, and it was Destiny for Cheese off pole position, and he'll be hoping he can I'll have another drink after this one. Go 2 from 2 after pole position. Was able to withstand the pressure from multiple safety car restarts, a green-white checker, and of course a very solid race start where he did build up a solid lead before that first safety car was called. So moments away now, drivers starting to get themselves on to the grid. 26 starters from Sandown International Raceway. The top 5 will start where they qualified for race number 1. It's race number 2. Something you don't see all that often in this series.
Yeah, with the obvious exclusion there of Noah Tara, who unfortunately won't be racing, so sort of top 4, but nevertheless, good effort.
Yeah, so hopefully he's back for the next one. Now, if you spare Snipes running through the grid and completely screwing his voice box, I will go through and run through the grid here as custom for race number 2. And of course, Cheese will start from pole position. Zach Brown will start from second once again. Bailey Hall will start from third place ahead of Lachlan Locke and Nathan Higginson, our championship combatants. And then we have Reese McGillivray, there we go, I think I got it right, in sixth place in Super 3 at the moment. Both he and Darren Lachlan in Super 3 having a really good run there in race number 1. Lachlan starting in 7th. Brett will start in 8th place ahead of Steve Warwick, who started at the back after missing qualifying. Great effort from him. Luke Yeager, bit of bad luck in that last one. He'll be hoping for a bit better luck in this one. He'll start in 10th ahead of Darren Kemp, who he himself had a bit of bad luck in that last one. He'll start 11th ahead of Justin Cecil, another man we did see around and did cause one of the safety cars. He'll start 12th ahead of Taipan in 13th. Brandon Dostal will start from position number 14. Peter Thrower, he'll start in position 15. He'll be hoping for a bit of luck and a bit of pace from his teammate to rub over to him. He'll start 15th in this one ahead of Glenn Miles. Then we have Laszlo Teglas will start in 17th place. I don't know what it is with these guys towards the back of the field, but they're always out of position on these formation laps. Ryan Walsh will start in position number 18 ahead of Melody Smith in 19th. Paralix on debut. This is his second start now. He'll start from 20th position ahead of Ayrton Felipe. He was running fairly well, but we did see some late drama there. Hayden Cuppet in his first round in 2022. I can't remember if he's raced in this series previously. You have seen him in ASC, of course. He'll start 22nd ahead of Netherelman in 23rd. Rhodey will start in position number 24. And Matt Cecil, of course, after that big smash, will start position 25 ahead of Christian Alvarez, who's starting from the back for some reason.
Interesting. Perhaps something we've missed in race 1, and he's just got himself a rear of grid.
Well, yeah, maybe he's asked to start from the back. We don't know. But those guys now forming up on the grid.
Going to be interesting to see who gets a good jump out of this one as we wait for everyone to form up. Just last cars rocking up now. The revs will rise.
Darren Kemp's out of position, so I did see him reverse back before, and I can see a little bit further back. He's not quite there in his box, so I expect. Yeah, there we go. And that'll be a warning for sure. Possibly a penalty, a points penalty of some sort. Anyway, lights are on. And good initial getaway from Cheese once again. Slightly better start. Well, I did think initially for Bailey Hall, but once again, front three going to hold their position into turn number 1. And
some quality starts there, Lewis. All three of them getting a great start.
And Steve
out.
Steve Warwick's had a blinder here. He's up 3 spots already. He's right behind Nathan Higginson and Lockie Locke. We've got a car around. That's Brian Walsh around. Will that be a safety car? No, it's not a safety car, but we will have a quick squeeze and see what happened here. So we're going to do the full safety car production team here. And no, he's just locked. I don't know if it was net code or if he dropped it on his own there. Maybe some. Yeah, it just looked like he dropped it on his own, but it was just a weird way the car went around there. But Higginson has cleared Lockie Locke. A lot of curb issues from Cheese, and he's run wide at the last corner. not quite in
So
that
that'll be a
rhythm.
track cut, surely.
Yeah, it will be. I'd have to imagine. So he has crossed the line. It hasn't given him time. So he's got at least one track cut already. And he'll once again be hoping Zach Brown can do him a solid and just defend. As Bailey Hall a little bit wide, but hasn't lost too much time to Zach Brown. It's Higginson customary sideways, and Steve Warwick putting a Lockie Lock under pressure with Brapp and McGillivray battling it out here for P7.
Importantly here, Nathan Higginson in front of Lockie Lock. As you see Steve Warwick applying the pressure from behind Nathan Higginson. You can see just up the road there. So important for the championship there, runners. Obviously, they're still a bit down from Cheese, who's currently running P1, decent lead. Warwick probably not really a good enough run to be able to make a move. As we look towards Bailey Hall, again putting pressure on Zach Brown up
Cheese!
road.
Cheese ahead is wide there, locked up, couldn't quite get the nose in, and that heart rate's definitely coming up now.
Yeah, no doubt, absolutely. It's a tough period to get through these first couple of laps, especially after a bit of a break. You got to warm back into it. You've got to find your rhythm, especially if you're at the front and the pressure's always on.
You got Steve Warwick. He's right behind Lockie Lock here. Looked like he was close enough for a run, but hasn't quite got the ideal run out of 13. He's just showing the nose. Going to try and force the mistake from Lock here. Now front three covered by a blanket here.
Ooh.
And a lot of curb usage.
And you see Nathan Higginson starting to join the party now too, as the front three slowly morph into the front four here. Cheese with still a small gap to Zach Brown, 4.5 tenths, with Bailey Hall right on the back of Zach Brown there. So fireworks definitely expected. Higginson not too far away.
He's right there to pick up the pieces if anything happens. And, does Cheese? Yes, Cheese does pull it up this time at Dandenong Road. And Matt Cecil out already. First double DNF according to him in the live chat. That's a bit of a shame for Matt Cecil. This is Jaeger wide off at Dandenong Road. And as we cut to Zach Brown, he's made a mistake there in the last couple corners. It's inviting Bailey Hall right onto the back as we see fastest lap Nathan Higginson. Just because Cheese on that previous lap. Of course, Cheese doing his without a double toe. Ooh, and once again, as close as you can get between Zach Brown and Bailey Hall at turn one.
Bailey Hall's really showing a lot of patience tonight, I feel. He's had points where I feel he could have possibly fired it up, but he's opting to wait, which isn't a bad play. But unfortunately, he's invited mistakes like that, and now Higginson's all over the back of him.
You do know Higginson very, very aggressive here. And just a couple slight mistakes on the exit of 3, and then at 4, invited Higginson to close right up. And has given Zach Brown some breathing room as they're both not quite on the ideal line through turn 6 and 7. So now Zach Brown can concentrate a little bit more on Cheese and optimal lap time instead of where to place his car in defence. And Hall wide again here. Not going to have the ideal run out of 13. Higginson
definitely applying the blowtorch here. He's driven a good half a lap. He's kept the rear end in, which is his biggest trouble, is his right foot. Will he shape up for a move? He's got a bit of a run. He's going to possibly look for it.
No nose, it's bumpy and just backs out of it here. Just biting. Oh, he's gone. He's looped it up again.
He saved it.
He saved it,
Lewis. And then he put his foot back in it for some reason,
yep.
And then it went.
It's exactly what he did at Townsville. It was at a point where he could save the car, and instead of just staying out of it and straightening the car up, he's put his foot back on the accelerator. And, well, Lockie Lock. If I'm Lockie Lock at this point, I'm just like, well, guess what? If Steve Warwick makes a move, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to make points on Nathan Higginson no matter what. There's no point risking it here. Of course, if you can stay ahead of him, great. But that is, and again, another massive freak. Oh, big lose! McGillivray in the background there has lost it at turn 6 and 7.
First tough spot to be in here too. He's trying to get the car swung around, but he's going to have to probably wait for a bunch of traffic to get on. Tough spot to be.
He's done that nicely there. He's
I agree.
Not blended. He's blended nicely on. Well, he's blended onto the circuit as opposed to just rushing back on there, and avoided any major issues. So no safety car, down to 17th for him.
Good on debut there, I think, Lewis. Good effort on debut. Good awareness, which is good to see.
Yeah, that is. For someone that's done their first race here, that's definitely, that's very good awareness. I don't know how much racing he's done in the past online, but definitely some race smarts about him, just judging from that isolated incident alone. As we're cutting out to Nathan Higginson, he's now behind Darren Loughnane and Justin Cecil. They're battling it out for 8th place. Loughnane, of course, now in the lead in the Super 3 class. He probably doesn't have to force the issue now. Although, I guess pride is a thing in motor racing here, Snipes. So there are different classes, but you do want to, stay ahead of the cars you're racing here.
Let me tell you, watching a bit of that racecraft right there, he squeezed Justin Cecil to the inside before opening himself up to take the corner and sweep around to the outside. That is actually very impressive racecraft from Loughnane there, I thought. It was pushing it and leaving little room for error, which is possibly the only danger, but he got it done, and now you can see there a terrible run out of the last corner for Cecil, and Higginson pounces.
I would say dog's breakfast, but having a look at my dog eat in the morning, every morning, my dog Ali eats a lot cleaner than how Justin Cecil turned 12 and 13 there. That was an absolute mess. So, free kick for Higginson. He's going to try and battle back. It's got yellows out here. Oh, no, it's Steve Warwick around at the exit of 4. So cut to replay. Got himself ahead of Lockie Lock. He'd done all the hard... Oh, and he's just ran wide. Got on the grass, gassed it up, and he got back on the circuit. Got a helping hand, but there was nothing really Lockie Lock could do there. So, he was right there. He was ahead. He would have had clear air. Oh, just unfortunate for Steve. So back down to P19 for him. No safety car.
Yeah, be ruining that one. Those are always the most heartbreaking ones. You do all the work, you get past the guy, and then you just send it in yourself. No one to blame but yourself, and that stink. It's a bit easier when you can say someone else hit me. When you just copped up, it's a buggery. But he'll bounce back. He's been impressive all season.
Yeah, he's already come back and gained 15 spots, obviously, in race 1. Hopefully he can pick up a few here in race 2, and then in race 3 pick up some more. Did just see an exchange of positions between a former Formula V driver and a current Formula V driver, at least in Victoria. Let's see it, and Felipe, the current driver, getting ahead of Rody, the former. Bit of a shame that Rody sold his V, because I would have liked to have had a crack in it at some stage. And probably had a monumental accident. But still, at least he can say to a lot of people, I've raced an actual race car. What have you done?
I drive pixels, mate, and I'm all about it. Isn't it fantastic? Yeah. It's just great that more people are doing it, no matter what form we're doing it, to be fair, but fantastic to actually drive it. Isn't that the dream, right?
Yeah.
As we look here, Bailey Hall pressuring Zach Brown. You notice Cheese has really pulled away in the last few laps. He's got his head down, and Bailey Hall's got up to the back of Zach Brown and is applying the blowtorch. Zach Brown driving in his mirrors a bit has slowed them down, and Cheese has got away. Bailey Hall much later. Under brakes, he got it pulled up, I think.
Much more confident at turn 1, and Zach Brown could have broke later there, but I think realising that may not be worth just pushing it, he's going to get a top 3. These guys are now 8 seconds clear of Lockie Lock in 4th place. So I don't know if he's made another mistake or if that incident with Steve Warwick did cost him a heap of time, but his rollbackers, Brap is around. And he's in a very, very, very awkward position here. And he's tried to flick spin it and unfortunately just gathered the wall there. And he's going to have to Austin Powers it out of there as Brandon Dostal runs wide. So, yeah,
He's going to have to wait. He just has to wait.
This is true Austin Powers in the kart there. And it is a safety car. I thought for a second, I thought we were clear there, but the game's just decided no. And that's just as the leaders cross the start-finish line, exactly what Cheese didn't want. And Bailey Hall has now got himself into 2nd position at that point as well. So, not what Cheese wanted.
Certainly not what you want. You've done all the work again. You've got the lead. You've got out in front of everyone. Safety car. And this time he's not going to have Zach Brown behind him pressuring him. He's going to have Bailey Hall. So it's someone who hasn't really had pressuring him throughout this whole evening. He's had Zach Brown behind him basically the whole time, which is going to present new challenges as Bailey tries to find his way past Cheese there. We saw how confident he was there into one. I thought that was actually very, very well pulled up there. So will Bailey Hall be able to push past in these last couple of laps? We might.
We just don't know, because we've not seen him race in clear air. He's been behind Zach Brown for the entirety of race number 1, and then we, of course, had safety cars, and then he's only had, the one, or, maybe not one full lap. He's had 13 turns of the track to himself with clear air, and a couple seconds in the next car down the road, so we don't really know in race trim what that car's capable of.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit disappointed the safety car came out when it did, because once Bailey did go past Zach there, I was very intrigued as to what he would do versus what Cheese was doing up front. I was intrigued to see as to whether he'd naturally just eat into that lead, or what the pace really was. I think that was the best litmus test. But now we're going to get potential wheel-to-wheel racing, so that's always good too. Door to door.
Yep, certainly is. But we'll just run through the order here, as we are under safety car conditions once again. So, of course, Cheese in the lead. Bailey Hall now up into second. Zach Brown in third. Lock in fourth place. Darren Kemp has had a good, quiet run for him, but it's been a good run. Up into P5 now. Avoided the carnage in a very solid position ahead of Nathan Higgins. And that safety car, a massive get-out-of-jail-free card for him, after another mistake at the exit of this corner right here at turn 1. Darren Loughlin in P7 ahead of Justin Cecil. Taipan in 9th, with Peter Thrower up 5 spots to P10. Ayrton Felipe, another get-out-of-jail-free card. This safety car gets him close to the cars in front. Also gives Rhodey a bit of hope to possibly, try and gain a couple positions as well. Get himself into the top 10. Brendan Dostal in 13th. Luke Jaeger in 14th, with Christian Alvarez, aka Christian Shadow, in 15th. Reese McGillivray, this safety car, another free kick for him, or at least a golden opportunity for him to get some positions back in this one, with Glenn Miles right behind him in 17th. Same with Steve Warwick, this safety car, bit of a saving grace for him. He can recover some positions for a better starting position in race number 3 here. Brian Walsh in 19th. Netherromian in 20th position, with Hayden Cuppet 21st. Melody Smith 22nd. Laszlo Teglas in 23rd. The Hungarian driver, with Perelix, was awfully close to being a lap down, Snipes. I don't know if you caught it, but that safety car came out at the perfect time for him and was able to stay on the lead lap, with Brapp, of course, causing the safety car, having to Austin Powers it out of there, and I imagine he's pitted. That's why he's at the back of the field now.
Yeah, Brapp gone for some weight reduction there. Don't need that on it. Just dropping weight might help the speed. But interesting side note that possibly isn't well known. Paralix is actually Cheese's brother, so it would have been Cheese lapping his brother in his first ever event. But nevertheless, when you are just racing your first event, I think personally the goal is finish the races reasonably unscathed. Just finish the races and try not to crash into people, and that's a success in my books.
Yeah, finish the races and don't be a hindrance to others on the circuit. And well, I've not seen too much of him out around other cars, because we've been looking at other cars on the circuit. But from what I've seen, he hasn't been out there wobbling into anybody's way and causing too many issues. Of course, haven't seen everything, but that's just from what I've seen so far. So, good solid base to start from, and he'll be hoping to find some speed the more he races and practices out there.
If I may cut in there, Lewis, a side note with that is a lot of these drivers that you see up towards the front of this field now started towards the back. I'm not going to necessarily name drop people, but people have found pace by just racing. So the more you do it, the better you're naturally going to get. You've got to start somewhere, and finishing races is a great place to start.
Well, I mean, I could go through and name some names here. So, of course, Cheese did win a race last year, but he's been a little bit inconsistent. Bailey Hall is still fairly new, so I don't know too much about him just yet. But, of course, Zach Brown He's been around a little whiles now, but you go back 12 months and he wasn't racing anywhere near the front of the Development Series / Super 2 field. Same with Lockie Lock. They were sort of in the middle or towards the back a little bit, but they now find themselves towards the front of the field. So those guys have massively improved, and they're definitely someone that these guys that are just starting out can definitely look towards as we see the safety car pull in. And Cheese will be hoping to get a nice getaway here as Bailey Hall running up the back of him there. And then Cheese just decides to go. And he's done him here. That's a
good getaway, but he's going to feel a different kind of pressure with Bailey Hall. He was really good into turn 1 under brakes, at least in previous safety car laps here. And he's Cheese all over the curb there. He's going to be under a lot of pressure.
He's been nudged.
Defensive.
Oh, and Higginson's lost it, and he's forced Kemp into the fence in the background there. I'll try and cut to a replay after the race is over here, but I'll run to the end here. So Cheese doing all he can to hold on here. He's just got really one major braking point to go, and then he can really just hold on here. A little bit of breathing room.
Just don't send it deep at Dandenong Road, realistically, is the play here. Get it around turn 6 safely and pull it up straight. And, once you do that, you'll feel a lot happier. That is probably the trickiest braking zone on the circuit.
Yep, so now all he's got to do is just worry about this braking zone here and just don't gas it up too much out of 13. He did this in the last race at Green-White Checker, and it was effectively the same thing here. And provided there's no safety car here, he will come home. And Cheese will go 2 from 2 ahead of Bailey Hall this time. And Zach Brown in 3rd. Lockie Lock in 4th place. But, of course, his championship rival well down. Justin Cecil covering a number of positions due to some late drama. Kemp into the fence at the end there. Taipan home in 6th. Felipe back in 7th. More drama here on the pit straight here. I'm just seeing it on my screen. I'm not looking at it, so I don't see exactly what happened. Postel home in the top 10. Jager in 10th. Rhodey in 11th. McGillivray in 12th. Lochnan in 13th. And then we have Steve Warwick, Darren Kemp, Nathan Higginson, Brian Walsh, Netherelman, Hayden Cuppet, Melody Smith-Brapp, Laszlo Teglas, Paralix, and Glenn Miles, and Christian Alvarez with obviously Alvarez retirement, as well as Cecil. So I'm just going to go to Nathan Higginson to find the initial contact. I've just got to go to YouTube as well, by the way, so just bear with me here and sort through some of this fucking bullshit from these spam bots. So
let's get him.
So first off, what happened at the end of the race here?
It's like, how many wide there? 4?
Oh, so Lochner's just come through at full speed here. I don't know if he realises the start-finish line's actually earlier in the straight, or if he's just unhappy there, but he might find himself in trouble. But we'll go all the way back. What happened with Nathan Higginson and Darren Kemp here into turn number 1?
It's certainly a big one. Lost a lot of positions there out of it to Nathan Higginson, so...
Okay, so we go all the way back to the safety car restart. Got the slipstream. Oh, he's gone deep. He's gone deep and wide. Obviously, Lochner and Kemp are side by side. He's then...
3 don't go into 1.
Yeah, 3 into 1 don't go. And I know Higginson will probably go and say, yeah, look, that was Lochner's fault, but at the same time, I mean, he did put himself in that situation. At the same, that's going to be, I don't look forward to having to make a decision on that one in the steward's room. But
I'm no steward at all, but my call on that is a racing incident. That's a mistake into 3, doesn't go into 1 there. If Higginson doesn't make that mistake, I don't think he ends up in the fence, sadly. But it is what it is. It's last lap racing, unfortunately. We've got another race. People can move forward from it.
Yeah, there's things Higginson could have done better. There's things Lochner could have done better. And unfortunately, Kemp, innocent bystander in that one. So, bit of an awkward one. And then something did happen to Kemp on the pit straight that I haven't caught because the server's restarted itself. So, dramas. High drama here in the Dev Series. Who would have thought, Snipes? Who would have thought?
It's never seen before in the history of Dota. No, brilliant, brilliant race overall. Bit of drama at the end. Safety cars breed safety cars. That's what they say, don't they? So, no safety cars on the last lap. Thankfully, we actually just got to get the green-white checker. And is that 2 from 2 now? I believe it is.
That is, and he's led every lap so far. Has cheese, and well, he might need a more fancier name. If he continues his form, I think fondue.
Fondue. You think fondue? All right.
Fondue. You know, uh, cream cheese. There's
Cream
a
cheese.
cream cheese. There's a heap of things that he could rename himself to right now, because 2 from 2, looking the goods here at Sandown. The world is his oyster at the moment. So cheese.
Absolutely. He's raced very well. To cut in the interjector, I feel this third race is going to bring a different beast. If everyone gets off the line well again, let's on the assumption that he gets off the line well enough to retain first, he's going to have Bailey Hall pressuring him now for the entire race duration. And Bailey Hall has nothing to lose here. He's not in a championship fight. He's just coming to shake things up at this point in time. Until at least next season, when I'm sure he'll look a bit more devastating. But he's got nothing to lose, and that creates a different kind of mentality, I feel.
It certainly does. You don't have to. You don't have any real risks or consequences of you having a monumental mistake, and going from a possible top three or possible win to a DNF, or down in the teens or 20s. So he can race with a relative freedom that I don't know if Cheese is really concerned so much about the championship, but I think so far from what we've seen, particularly in the last 2 to 3 rounds here, Snipes, is that both Locke and Higginson have made some mistakes that you really wouldn't expect from those two, where they've made unforced errors where in the past they haven't made. Perhaps the pressure to those two is getting to them, and it may just open the door for the likes of Cheese. And, well, if all things went perfectly, maybe even Darren Kemp, but certainly Cheese, if he can continue this form and the other two keep faltering, we might see a three-way fight here, a legitimate three-way fight for the title.
That's what you want to see, isn't it? You want to see multiple drivers up there giving it a red hot go and finishing it all closely. I can't help but feel if Cheese had done a bit more practice throughout the year, he would have more results like this. But he's usually an arrive on race day kind of guy and do it, which is totally respectable at the same time. But he's put in a little bit of work this week, and I think it's showed for him, so that's really, really good. And yeah, I think he's a smoky.
Yeah, certainly a smoky, and yeah, it'll be at least another, I think, maybe 15 to 20 points on Lockie Lock, and certainly a lot more on Nathan Higginson. So he's playing himself into line here. But yeah, 4 minutes to go here in the warm-up session between races 2 and 3. I'm not sure about Snipes, but I certainly do need a little bit of a short break after a fairly chaotic finish to that last one. So we'll be back. Don't go anywhere for race number 3 from Sandown International Raceway. All right, and welcome back to the ASR Development Series, where, of course, the point standings is provisional at this stage, but after some late drama, we've got a very, very close points gap between first and second now. Obviously, 16th place was what Nathan Higginson ended up managing after incident between himself, Darren Loughlin, and, well, I wouldn't say Darren Kemp. Darren Kemp was an innocent bystander in the end of it all, despite the report that Nathan Higginson's put in. But 8 points now separate Nathan Higginson and Lachlan Locke for first and second, and Cheese now only finds himself 151 points off the championship lead. As looks like we've got some dramas here. Yep, there we go. A little bit of a server restart for something here, so perhaps a minor batch file problem.
Yeah, it's all closed up at the top there. Certainly going to be intriguing. Obviously, drop rounds still to factor in, but nevertheless, it is certainly a tight tussle at the top for two drivers, with a third obviously coming in hot. If Cheese can capitalise again, he could really, really move up on these top two once more. It's been very, very good throughout the field, so I'm hyped.
Yeah, so just seeing that, it looks like the broadcast crew were taking a break as we're gridding up, but we're actually back in time. But of course, the broadcast is a bit delayed, so people that do watch it back. So I'm not sure exactly how long it is. I think it's about a minute or 30 seconds or some such. But obviously now we've got to wait for Taipan, who did have a bit of a game issue there, so we did have to restart. I am quiet. That's because, I don't know why. I'll move my mic closer there for you, Rossi. Hopefully this is loud enough. Maybe you've just forgot to turn your volume up on your headset or whatever. Alright, Taipan is back in, but once again, just to reiterate, we do have 8 points separating first and second. Lachlan Locke still second in the standings, but right there's absolutely nothing between the two. Drop round still has to be taken into consideration. I can't remember if this is the last round before it takes place, or if it's after Bathurst.
I think it's before Bathurst, I believe. Before Bathurst is when you select your drop round, I believe.
Yeah, I'm looking at the information thread right now. I mean, I should know. I mean, I did organise this stuff myself, but that was, when did I make this post? This was posted many months ago at this point. It was posted in January, so a very, very long time ago now. At the conclusion of Mount Panorama, so...
Oh, correct.
So there we go. That's according to the information thread, but of course, who knows? But all right, drivers now formed up onto the grid. Now, Snipes, I know normally I throw you under the bus and get you to do the grid for race 3, but do you want to do it, or do you want me to do it this time?
I got you if you need it, bro. I'm happy to oblige, but if you want it, it's yours.
All right, I'll go through. I'll do it this time. I'll give you a little bit of a spell here. So, of course, Cheese, he's gone 2 from 2, as well as pole position. He'll start from pole once again here. Bailey Hall, though, will start from second in this one. But he's got fast starting Zach Brown right behind him in third place. Lockie Locke in fourth place, ahead of Justin Cecil, who, after race 1, certainly didn't think he was going to finish 5th, I don't think, but he certainly did. Same with Taipan, in 6th place in the end. At the end of that last one, Filippi recovered to 7th, with Peter Thrower. He'll start in 8th. He made up a few spots due to late drama, as well as Brandon Dostal. He'll start in position number 9. Gaga will start in 10th, ahead of Rhodey. Actually, I'm just going to scroll ahead here. Super 3. So did Rhodey actually win Super 3 there? I'll have to double check that, as Rhys McGillivray will start in 12th behind Rhodey. And Darren Loughlin in 13th place there as well. So 3 Super 3 runners in a row. Steve Warwick in 14th. Hopefully a nice clean run for him in this one. No mistakes as well. Darren Kemp will start from position number 15. And then we have Nathan Higginson in 16th after some late drama. And I'm sure he's sweating bullets at the moment. Brian Walsh will start position 17. Netherlandian in 18th ahead of Hayden Cuppet in 19th. Melody Smith in 20th. Hasn't been the fastest, but has been to every round, I believe. So great effort from her. Brapp in 21st. He was running in the top 10, but some drama in that one. And Austin powers it out of there at turn 4. Laszlo Teglas will start in 22nd ahead of Paralix on debut, with Glenn Miles in 24th. Christian Alvarez, aka Christian Chato, starting from 25th. Matt Cecil hopefully doesn't have an internet disconnect or gets punted off in this one. He'll start 26th ahead of Noah Taro, who had some lag but has returned. So back to 27 runners in this one, and some fast cars at the back and in the middle as well.
I note on this one here, Lewis, this is the 150th race start of the ASR Dev Series / Super 2. So an important little milestone here, I suppose, in the league's history. Let's hope it's a good one.
Yeah, 150 for Super 2. I believe that includes the AMS Oz Series and the Summer Series. Justin Cecil warping in and out there. Someone's out of position. Who's going to warp? I think that's actually Bailey Hall, actually. He's well out of position there. So he'll get a warning for that. Yeah, there we go. Get in position. Lights are on now. Who will get the jump for race 3? And it looks like Cheese once again, solid getaway. And it looks like a solid getaway as well for Lachlan Locke. We got a car around. Melody Smith is around in the background. And Zach Brown having a look up the inside of Bailey Hall, but Hall hangs it around the outside. And, well, now it's the race through the flip-flop at turns 2 and 3. And at turn 4 as well. And, oh, no, Steve Warwick is around. I think he got a helping hand there from our newbie in Super 3 in McGillivray, as Melody Smith around again. I don't know how you could do it when you're out on your own there, but she's managed, and we do have a safety car if that's any consolation for Steve Warwick. So,
well, intriguing. In that half a lap, Cheese and Bailey Hall pulled away from Zach Brown a little bit before that safety car came out, and Bailey Hall already noticeably applying pressure to Cheese.
Alright, so just going to go to McGillivray here. Yeah, it's just up on the curb.
It's so innocuous, it's just at the wrong time.
Yeah, just at the wrong time, and unfortunately, once again. But Peter Throw also involved with that. He may have some slight damage as well as some of the cars that hit him. So 3 races, 3 safety cars, and unfortunately Steve Warwick once again with the bad luck. So down 12 spot. What the hell is Melody Smith doing there? If you got damage, you take it. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't consumed enough alcohol to try and. I'm lost. I'm lost.
I'm pleased Steve didn't get clapped there. That would have not been good. Oh.
He's already had a bad enough run. And, yeah, so he's pulled into the pits. Thankfully, he didn't cop a second whack. I don't think he'll have unless he got cleaned up again, I don't think he'll have too severe damage. So we'll do the unrealistic thing and go to, I don't know, drone cam here, aka chase cam. Doesn't look to have much visual damage to the car. It wasn't a massive whack that he copped to the left-hand side. But yeah, I just wasn't sure if he copped a secondary whack from another car going through there. If not, I think the field did a good job of just avoiding him. But, of course, he's now got a pair of freshies on. And hopefully he's able to just get through the remainder of this race cleanly.
Yeah, look, the one advantage is he was already at the back stop is going to cost him absolutely nothing. He'll get right back up to this train and he'll be able to go again. And this time perhaps he'll be able to capitalise on carnage that may or may not happen in front of him. An early safety car certainly worries me about about the general feeling of this race. Let's hope it doesn't continue with that. I reason to believe we are going green flag this next time around though, so a nice short one at least.
Yeah, not too long a safety car. We'll just see. So Steve Woke now at Dandenong Road. So he will catch the back of the queue, which has just gone over the start. Oh, sorry, it's gone over the finish line. The start line is right here, but Smith has just gone over there. It is separate, at least in race trim, at least. So this line here that Steve's just crossed, that is the timing line. Well, of course, that line that he's just gone over there is the start line.
It creates an interesting first lap dynamic where your first lap is actually one of your quickest, if not your quickest lap, doesn't it, Lewis?
It actually depends on the series. Some series, yeah, you will end up having the first lap being the fastest lap of the race, while depending on where you start on the grid, of course, while others, it will be quick, but it won't be your quickest. But
it will be a bit slow.
I think there has been some series in the AMSL/ASR history where the guys on the front row, they've set their fastest lap of the race on lap 1, and by a bit of a distance as well. So it does play a little bit of a havoc on trying to set out fastest laps and the like. But we'll go through. Oh, actually, no, we don't have time because we are going to go green. But just having a look here, Higginson up into P7 already, so he's jumped up 9 spots. But still a bit of work to do as Cheese starts to back off to let the safety car go. Did have Bailey Hall bump drafting him and then he took off last time around. What's he going to do this time? Again, just got him on the jump and he'll be right into turn 1. He's just going to make sure he does not outbrake himself here.
Been a bit wild into one on restarts. He's hit that curb a few times, and it looks he's gone for it again. But he's been able to cover off the inside here into 2.
Oh, it's Taipan around in the background, and Bailey Hall's just gone straight around the outside at 2.
Got him.
It's just too defensive from Cheese. But still a solid night so far, right behind Zach Brown. I think he's got the pace to get by Zach here. He will have the toe.
He certainly won't want to hang around too long. He knows he's got the pace to win races, so he won't want to be sitting behind other cars too long. It's a hard place to make a pass here unless you're right alongside.
Oh, a lock up for Brown. Yeah. Oh, Cheese, he's just going to fire it down there, and he's able to pull it up immediately.
What a move.
Gets the job done. Yep, just saw the slight mistake, bided his time, and picked the perfect moment to strike. As you see Higginson looking to make a move there on Justin Cecil at turn 12. Just going to try and go to Taipan here and find out what happened to him earlier on here. So do bear with me. We're going full supercar spec with the early on replays. And he's going to make a move and just made contact with Justin Cecil. Maybe could have wanted a little bit of extra space there, but
on a technicality, there was definitely a car width, but yeah, when you are pushing someone that much, it doesn't, like, a small mistake equals an accident.
Yeah, bit of an awkward one. As we've got the 2 green and black cars here, well, one of the 2 green and black cars, 2 of the green and black cars, I should say. There's a number of them in the field, side by side into 6. Higginson and Justin Cecil. Higginson.
That's not going to end well.
Well, there we go. There's one car off.
And he'd be driving on a square as well. Massive lock up on the front left, you'd have to think there, Lewis. That was not pretty.
I don't know if he's installed the new wheel base yet, but if he has, he'll certainly be having that rumble through his rig right now. It's Bailey Hall, fastest lap of the race. Zach Brown has got ahead of Cheese here. So, Cheese, as we cut to replay, did end up getting behind Bailey Hall. Not too far away, but then locked up at Dandenong Road.
Easy place to make a mistake, and he's just battling a little bit here, finding himself now in the pressure of the field as such. You know, he hasn't been racing behind people all night. He's been racing in front of them, so it's a different tempo.
Got Brapp and Loughlin now duking it out here. The roadie there as well. And Brapp's wide at 4. That's going to cost him here. Cost him, I imagine, 1 position, and roadie's going to try and follow Loughlin through here.
See how they go side by side into turn 6. It's a tough corner to be able to make. They've got their overspeed. Don't make it 3-1.
And Noah Tara's just gone through as well. They're the best runner out of all of them, as Roddy takes a very interesting line, has to be said, through turn 7. And, there's a bit of lag going on there. As Noah Tara has a look at Loughlin. But he's going to have to wait until at least turn 1 to try and get a move done.
You have to think Noah's got the pace to be able to get past these guys at this point. He's definitely got front-running kind of pace. Even if not quite there, he's thereabouts. Sizing up a move into 1. It's going to be bumpy. It's a difficult approach. It is possible to get it done. Loughlin giving him a little bit of a squeeze there too. And it seemed to have worked enough. He's kind of worried Tara out of it, I think.
Yeah, Tara just a bit conservative. Doesn't want to make contact there. And of course, it is a difficult place to make a move with the bumps on the inside, so you don't really want to risk it too much if you can. But we have seen him set some solid lap times in the previous, in the only race he's done so far in race 1. And his last lap was a 1:11.5, so definitely more time in it for Noah. Definitely being conservative around this traffic.
That's a good play, honestly. To be careful, be cautious on your way through CC Taipan, letting traffic go by, or letting traffic go by behind there. But yeah, no, just being conservative is good, but you still definitely want to move forward while the field's reasonably compressed, so it's a little bit of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it does need to take a bit of a risk, and I'm just seeing Cheese now in P7. So, I'm not sure what's happening here. Going to cut to a replay. Again, do apologise for not catching all of this. Do want to show some other drivers and cars some love here. So, going to go back on the replay, find out what's happened to him. He's surely not gone off. He has gone off at Dandenong Road once again. Oh, he's coming a bit too hot. He's had to avoid Zach Brown as well. And, yeah, off into the boonies he goes. So, down to P7. It's ruined an otherwise pretty entertaining, enjoyable night from him so far. That's enabled Higginson and Justin Cecil, as well as Lucky Lock, to move up. But comfortable lead at the moment for Bailey Hall ahead of Zach Brown. Zach Brown now having a look over his shoulder. He's got Lucky Lock right behind him.
Yeah, certainly there. A little bit of a gap, but Lucky Lock's certainly able to close up. An excellent night, I think, for Zach Brown overall here too. He's staring down the barrel of 3 seconds, which a second and a third.
Second.
Yeah, 2 seconds and a third.
Yeah, which I think overall, definitely his best night of the season.
Yeah, no, fantastic effort from him. Lucky Lock will definitely look to apply pressure if he can get up to him in these last 4 laps. So we see Cheese looking to make a move down the inside. 1 on Justin Cecil. He's got it there stopped, but he should have it done from there. But Justin Cecil maintaining inside.
Oh, and Felipe, I was going to try and mention him a little bit earlier, but he was having a really good run and got a safety car. But Felipe was running up there in P4, which was the best he's run all season. So what has happened? So see, Brapp's out of the race. I'm not sure what's happened there or when that's happened. So Brapp hasn't caused it. His DNF prior to this. So has it happened at turn 6? Did see Parallax off in the background there, so I'm going to try and... Parallax was in the wall coming down the hill. But surely that couldn't have been the safety car.
I don't know if I can find it myself here, Lewis, but perhaps someone just going
off. Oh, wait, there we go. Point. There we go. So it was McGillivray. He got a little bit of a helping hand from Darren Kemp at turn 2 and 3. Kemp's just stopped, and that is... Dostal's done a fair effort to avoid having a monumental crash there. Kemp was trying to
wild.
Oh, and we had someone. I think someone blew their engine at that point as well. I'm gonna have to go back because someone. As I escaped from that to go live, McGillivray had someone going past him with flames coming out the side. So who the hell was that? So we cut to it here. I don't know. Or it may have been just dirt, but I swear it was flame. So we cut through. It's Brian Walsh. Yeah, Brian Walsh. Get your snags and burgers, and I don't know if you want to chuck some snakes and some steaks and some ribs on there as well. But we've got ourselves a barbecue down there, as well as a safety car.
The canopy are going to be loving it, Lewis. Fantastic, free snags for them and a racing experience. Beautiful.
Yeah, so I hope the stewards down there have got some snags and some burgers that they could just whack on the top of that bonnet and just enjoy themselves a bit of a feed. So yeah,
you get to see now for the first time. Sorry to cut you off there, Lewis. How someone else leads the field away from the safety car. Bailey Hall now with the run. Zach Brown behind him. Cheese, importantly, up to 5th again though. So still not out of it in these last couple laps.
Yeah, not out of it. Gonna need a little bit of luck. It'll be.
Oh, wouldn't win it, I wouldn't feel, but not out of that top 3 fight, I don't think.
Still in it for a podium, I think. A little bit of luck. Obviously, Higginson, we do know he's aggressive and he'll want to get some points on Lockie Lock. And, again, you could see Zach Brown trying to make a move on Bailey Hall for the race win. And, in a perfect world, he'd have both. Obviously, Zach Brown looking to make a move on Hall. They both run wide or off the circuit. And then Lockie Lock and Higginson make contact or run wide, and he just gets gifted a win. But
imagine that. Just imagine if that happened to you.
I mean,
at any point,
you just go and buy a lotto ticket.
Yeah,
and,
straight away, right? No.
Well, if he was to do that, I mean, surely I don't know how many beers he's got left in the fridge, but surely you just finish them off tonight.
Oh, totally. Look, there's a few left, and he'll definitely be drinking them no matter what happens in this race, I think. But no, I think we've got a very fast top 5 here, so it's going to be very, very intriguing as to how it goes. The order's a bit jumbled up as to how it has been all night. I think Bailey Hall has a really good chance if he can get a good jump to drive away from Zach Brown. He pulled a bit of a lead again, so he was starting to really command the race. Zach Brown was a comfortable second too, so it'll be intriguing to see if Locke can follow him off the jump.
Yep. Yeah, so, as you said, we've not seen anyone else lead off a safety car restart here. I'm not sure if we're going green this time by. Just see. It does peel into the pits. No, going around again. So, just seeing the live chat. No, Lucky Dog with Taipan. I'm not too sure. He should have it, but again, I'd have to double check the SRS to make sure it's in there, and maybe the game's given it to him and he's missed it. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I'd have to actually double check the SRS. So it should be in there as well. Bailey Hall and Zach Brown want to do the old, follow Harry Hogg's advice and hit the pace car.
Yeah, why not? Add to the entertainment, really show it's the Dev Series, crack the pace car, flip him off while you're at it, and then carry on your merry way.
It is the most immovable object in R-Factor / Automobilista is the safety car.
It's actually crazy.
I believe you can set it so you can drive through it. I don't know if that's an R-Factor 2, just an R-Factor 2 thing, or if you can do it in R-Factor and AMS, but certainly when it is set to collidable, it is the most solid object known to man. It is more solid than and trustworthy than the orange box that you find in flight recorders that you find in.
It's called a black box.
Yeah, the black box. That's the one. It's painted the bright colours, so it's found. But yeah, it is indestructible. That thing. Even the walls on the side of the circuit, in some tracks, you'll actually see damage marks. You will not see anything out of place on that safety car.
You heard it here first. All planes are made out of ASR safety cars. All planes or black boxes in planes? What the fuck?
Well, if they were, I mean, that'd be perfect, but
Why?
unfortunately they're not. But looks like the safety
So
car is in. And who's going to get the jump here? Brown leaving more of a gap than what Hall did. Cecil's got a penalty, but it will be cleared by the admin team. And, there's a massive jump. Poor restart for Zach Brown. Higginson's got a good jump. And he's already up into second. Now, I can't remember if Higginson was already up into third place there or not. But it's all looking to kick off there into turn one. Wide there from Bailey Hall. As we've got, there's Peter Throwaround in the background. He's going motocross riding. As Hall and Higginson duke it out here. We are green-white checker, the final lap. We've got Loughnane around in the background. Rhodey's looking like he may have caused it because it looks like he's just pulling over to the left-hand side of the track, but we'll stick with his battle for the leaders here.
He goes having a go.
And this could be drama here. He's going to go around the outside of 6. He's going to get a track cut. Yeah, that will be a track cut, I'd imagine, but they're both going to be deep at Dandy Road. And, there's Cheese and Locke wide in the background. That's going to invite Justin Cecil to move up another spot. We've got two proper corners to go anyway. And Hall will hold on. Higginson will get it sideways. Zach Brown's going to get another second here. And it's going to be a drag to the line where Locke will end up holding on to position 4. Ahead of Justin Cecil. Cheese will come home 6th. Jaeger home in 7th. Brandon Dostal home in 8th place. And then we have Noah Turra 9th. McGillivray in 10th. Cecil in 11th. Darren Kemp 12th. Steve Warwick 13th. Christian Alvarez in 14th. Hayden Cuppet in 15th. Melody Smith home in 16th. Ahead of Glenn Miles, Laszlo Teglas, Peter Thrower, who we did see wide. Paralix in 20th. Felipe Not Happy has bid his car in 21st. Loughnane in 22nd with Rhodey 23rd. And another element found himself with a stop-go penalty with Taipan in 25th and Walsh and Brapp non-finishers. I'm just going to see the incident here between Rhodey, or possible incident between Rhodey and Loughnane. So we did see Rhodey, he exited turn 4 backing it off. So we're going to go all the way back. So he has driven slowly here. Alright, so got a big wall of cars in front with Loughnane.
Just caught out under braking a bit.
I mean, it's just one of those unlucky things. He's done the right thing in addressing it. Just a bit unlucky there. But Bailey Hall claiming his first, I believe it's his first, I don't think he won at Townsville. Or did he win at Townsville? No, we had Ben Hall and Noah at the front in that one. So he claims his first victory here in race number 3.
Definitely a suitable promotion up to Super 2. I feel they're great effort from Bailey Hall all night, competitive all night.
Yep. And he's had the pace for a number of rounds now to certainly threaten a race win. And he's done it now. You see, late drama with the safety car. Not making it easy for him. But he's able to hold his nerve. Claim victory ahead of Zach Brown, who didn't falter all night, it has to be said. Maybe not the outright speed of either Bailey Hall or Cheese, but just there or thereabouts with the pace, and he didn't really put a major foot wrong outside of maybe a couple of times he ran wide at turn 6, but he didn't lose positions out of that, unlike Higginson, who finished in 3rd place there, costing himself a position on that penultimate corner, but still a podium for him nonetheless. His championship rival ending up right behind him there. So, 3 races from Sandown done and dusted, Snipes. And it has to be said, 3 pretty entertaining races for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. They were a bit all over the shop. Couple of safety cars here, there, and everywhere. Definitely a lot of good racing on a tricky track. Couple of incidents as to be expected. I think a few of the drivers finding the turn one, two, three, four sector of the track really a little bit difficult at points in time, but nevertheless, a pretty damn good effort from all.
Yep. I'm seeing just a few incidents here or there being obviously reported on at the moment, but still, um, yeah, for the most part, compared to this time 3 weeks ago, a lot less incidents. And just also looking at the live scores in the footy, and looking like there could be an upset there, which is
Uh,
interesting. That's in the Australian football and not the old NRL. But
Sets are definitely always a good thing. We're looking here, Lewis, just a few seconds to start assembling our drivers up into here for some interviews. We're going to speak to a few of them tonight. So we'll start getting this underway very soon. All right. Excellent, great. We've got six drivers in tonight for some interviews. And I'm gonna start tonight with Bailey Hall. Bailey, how you going, mate?
Yeah, g'day, Snipes Lewis. Thrilled. Cannot be any happier right now.
Yeah, congratulations. I believe that is your first race win, is it not?
Yeah, first one, which is surreal at the moment. I'm thrilled to the moon.
Yeah, absolutely. A well-deserved promotion up to Super 2 and showing why it happened, definitely, as you have raced very well all season. Tell me about it. You qualified really quite well, I believe third it was, and you finished race one and third. Did you feel you were kind of biding your time, or what was these first couple of races like?
Look, not gonna lie with you, Zach and I sort of come to a bit of an agreement before the race. Let's work together. We knew Cheese was gonna be quick all night, and he was. And we had to try and find a way to get past him. And look, race one and two, he definitely got the better of us, and we didn't get the strategy all that right. I think Zach would probably agree with me. I was a lot quicker than him in race one, and I got held up quite a fair bit. We let it go for race one. There's a bit of teamwork there, and see how it goes. But yeah, coming home third in race one was a good start to the round for sure. Especially being able to get up to the front of the grid for the next start and see what we can do. Moving on the race two, we just didn't get the strategy too right. I thought I'd give Zach another crack at trying to get past Cheese, and early on it looked like Zach was going to absolutely get by him, and Cheese just had enough pace to keep out in front, and we saw the gap starting to grow. So we did the old switcheroo with about 4 or 5 laps to go, and I decided I'll have a crack at him, showing I had a bit more pace than Zach. And the moment I got by Zach, the safety car coming out, which kind of ruined that one, and we only had a 1 lap chance to try and get by him. And that really, yeah, 1 lap around here is not enough. You need a couple laps to try and build a bit of momentum. And Cheese was off and running again. So, but look, if we look on the race through, and that's the only one I really want to look at tonight. Finally got my first win in the series, and look, I couldn't do it without the people around me that helped me throughout the week. The people who give me setup help with bars. I don't understand bars to save my life. Don't understand much of these cars. I just get in and plant the right foot and drive it pretty much. So, no, overall, it's fantastic to finally pip off the race win. And as it sits provisionally, I think I've won another round, which is exceptional. Running Townsville on points over 3 races, and as it sits, I've won this one. So, look, it's good signs looking into the future for sure.
And fantastic work, Bailey. You've definitely shown a bit of pedigree from the moment you stepped into the league. I suspect this will be one of many race wins as you rise through the ranks. And yeah, very, very, very well done tonight.
Yeah, fingers crossed. The speed I've got can travel through. I think we've got Bathurst next. Sorry, with the big long race there. So that's going to be an enduring one. Trying to make sure we can keep the car speed along with the keeping it consistent across a lot of laps there. So that will be an excellent race. But nah, can't thank the guys that helped me out enough. Hybrid Racing Sim, Civil Force, Simi Cube and all those sort of guys that jump on the car, Avalon Raceway, Rocket Signs on the bonnet. Thank you very much to those guys, all they do for me. And thanks to Lewis and Snipes getting on the broadcast. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bailey. Very well done again, mate. I'm going to move over now to Lachlan Locke here. All right, Lockie, it's a little bit of a mixed bag tonight. You definitely had a bit of pace. But overall, I think you finished up towards the top end of the field. Importantly, I think for you in a lot of these races in front of Nathan Higginson. How'd you see it?
I think it was a good little points haul. No major mistakes on my part, so good night overall. Bit unfortunate with those safety cars and the traffic in qualifying, but once again, more fourth places in Victoria, so I think it's just the theme at the moment.
No, well, you've with tonight's round moved very close to Nathan Higginson. Well, do we have updated points at all, Lewis, or it was? Sorry. According to this, provided that it's updated, which it may not be, hang on, there is now only a 14-point gap between yourself and Higo. That is provisionally, of course. So, really closing back up. Do you feel you've got a bit of the upper hand, or do you feel it's still very much either way?
I think it's very much either way at the moment, and I'm just focusing on my own race at the moment. I evaluated after Townsville that focusing on Higo, focusing on the championship, it makes me make mistakes. So I've just kind of thrown that out the window, and I'm just now thinking more, if he gets past, he gets past, and that's just how it'll be. But yeah, hopefully we can get the points, as you want to. But if we don't, it's still a lot of fun. So either way, I'm happy.
Yeah, cool, man. Hey, you're representing yourself fantastically, and you have done all season. Good effort tonight.
Thank you.
Now, I am going to now move over to our championship leader, Nathan Higginson. All right, Nathan. Bit of a challenging night at points, I feel, but I feel also a good result at the end there. Obviously, a bit unfortunate to spin it up on the last corner, but probably nice to just get yourself a podium tonight.
Yeah, that's probably the short of it. It's not really been the greatest. I guess the greatest stretch for me since Hidden Valley. It's been a little bit of a dry spell regarding podiums and good race results. But I feel like tonight, race 3 was probably obviously the best out of the 3 for the night. I'm still kicking myself over races 1 and 2. Yeah, I'm just absolutely exhausted.
Fair play. Look, I understand that these races can all be a bit emotionally taxing at points when you're trying to fight for a championship, but I feel that you've got the ability to be able to get it all running hot and straight. We know what you can do when it's all running well, and you showed that in that last race by being there to capitalize in those moments. How are you feeling heading into Bathurst? Do you feel like this is a place that can offer a bit of redemption for your season?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that it'll be good practice for the Enduro Cup. I'm seriously just a bit cagey about Bathurst at this point. I'm hoping that it'll be a good result, but I guess I can't tell the future. So
Absolutely. No, well, fair enough, Higo. Look, unfortunate for your first couple of races tonight, but the bright side is you are still in the championship lead. It is awfully close, but that makes for excellent viewing. So thank you for your part in that.
That's all right. It's been this close before, but I'm hoping it doesn't stay this close.
Good play, mate. Well done.
Cheers.
I'm now going to move over to Reese McGilvray, if I may. G'day, Reese. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. I'm loving it. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, mate. Firstly, welcome to ASR. I believe tonight is your first race night here, is it not?
Yeah, my first round and coming away with those results, I can't be more stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought you raced reasonably well when I saw you actually taking some wins in class, which is an excellent result. How'd you find those first few races?
Race one, it was pretty lonely until the safety car approached, and I realized I had Super 3 car right behind me, and I was just focused on getting a good start, try and get past one of the Super 2 cars and get someone between us and drive away. And that never really happened, and we pretty much stayed line of stern till the finish. But it is what it is. I still walked away with it, and it was fun.
Absolutely. Lewis tonight on broadcast noted both yourself and Darren certainly putting out some excellent results, getting well within that top 10 in that first race at least there, which I thought was an excellent result. Is there anything that surprised you that was unexpected throughout your race night?
Pole position, 2 wins in a second. I come into the round with no expectations. I had no practice until tonight on the game, on with the car, with the track. I come in completely blind.
Well, that's a very impressive result coming from that. I'll ask then, for the sake of knowledge, what is your previous kind of rough racing experience? Do you have much?
I do a lot of endurance racing and racing Porsche Cups as well, and other sims and a bunch of just fun races with the guys.
Cool, man. So a bit of experience there. Well, I'm going to say a very excellent first showing for you. Very well done.
Yeah, cheers. I'd just like to thank Panorama Graphics for the awesome design on both the team cars with Hado there and coming in P3 and race 3. And, I can't be more happy for him as well. And let's fight for this championship next season.
Absolutely. Get on it, Reese. Very well done. I am now going to move over to Zach Brown. How you doing tonight, Zach?
Oh, pretty good. Yourself?
Yeah, no, not bad. Let me tell you, you've provided us with some pretty entertaining racing there. So we've heard, obviously, from Bailey that you were actually working together with him for your first couple races. So do you want to tell us kind of a little bit about that from your perspective?
Oh, yeah. So I thought, what better way to race than race with a mate? So Bailey and I thought we would try and get good results out of it by picking on Cheese a bit there. But those first
Good
two
call.
races didn't go too well with me being out the front, being the slower one as we found out. So as Bailey said, we swapped around in the second race at that just before the safety car. I just let him pass so he could go, and we clearly saw that he was catching Cheese, so we went for it on the third race and got him.
Very, very, very well done. Executed team strategy there. Your progression through the series has definitely been quite impressive to watch. Honestly, Zach, I feel how do you feel you moved forward from where you started?
Yeah, the way I feel like I've done it. Lately I've been looking at a lot more racing strats than that, and I figured out, like, I don't know why, but I never really had the grasp of apexes and that, and like getting them right. But I've started looking at it a bit more recently, and I'm starting to grasp it a bit more. And I think that's where that time's come from. The other weekend when I was doing the GT3 races, something clicked there, I think, as well, with the on R Factor 2. So yeah, I think that's where some of the pace is coming now.
Yeah, look, no doubt, Zach. You've moved forward in leaps and bounds, and you're challenging now consistently when you're here and you put a bit of effort in at the front of this ASR Development Series pack. Very, very well done on your efforts tonight.
Thank you.
And last but not least, I'm going to move over to Cheese. Lying down on the couch, Cheese. Firstly, congratulations on your first pole position in ASR and your first race win since June last year. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. It was I put a little bit more preparation to this race than I normally do, so I definitely didn't expect a pole. I was looking at the times before tonight. I thought they were a little bit out of my league, but after setting a few 1.9s on race fuel before quali, I was feeling a bit more confident. So to get that pole for the first race was unbelievable. And I mean, as you know, I was quite excited for most of tonight.
Yeah, certainly were. Now, you had to experience a couple of different runners behind you there. Zach Brown, obviously, for the first race there, applying pressure at varied stages. But I found you eked out a bit of a lead before safety cars came out and definitely made it a bit of a challenge off the line. Was this your first time leading a field with the safety car?
Yes, it certainly was. So I'll have to thank Tim Redden here, but he gave me a little bit of advice for the starts. And I knew, obviously, being on pole position, I just had to get a good start. I had to get out in front of that pack and give it a bit of gap to deal with. I didn't really know that Bailey and Zach were working together to sort of follow. So I thought, they're going to battle behind me and I'll be able to pull away. But I did manage to pull away anyway. And get that space. And it was a bit unfortunate to see those safety cars come out, and it did add a little bit of stress to me because I'm going, what the hell do I? I sort of know the procedure, but I've never done it before. So I was pretty happy that I managed to still get the jump and pull that gap again.
Yeah, you certainly did. I felt you led the safety car restarts all very well. You got a good jump in every single one of them. Now we're going to go back to qualifying quickly for a moment. You've set, what was it, a 108.7 something or other,
Yep.
And you're in P1 and you've been sitting there for a while. How confident were you in that lap that would get you pole?
I was not super confident. I actually went out for a single lap dash at the end of the qualifying session and completely binned it into a fence. So at that point, I went, okay, well, we're just going to have to see where it goes. And given the times that had been set in practice, I knew that it was quite a good chance that specifically Bailey Hall was probably going to unseat me from that position. But luckily that didn't happen. So I managed to get a first pole position, which I was stoked about.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's a very good segue, Cheese, because then the last race you've got Bailey Hall behind you. Was it a different feeling lining up to the grid, or were you still just on to the next one? Here we go again.
Yeah. Again, those first two races, what I race. Like, I've got a tendency to sort of bin my own races and make unnecessary mistakes. And so the first couple of races, I was kind of giving it about 80-90% and just really making those couple of corners that really matter. And then got to the last race, and with Bailey Hall right behind me, I knew I really had to put up a fight. And I think I just pushed a little bit too hard, and I just kind of lost my ground on the track and sent it off a few times. And unfortunately, that's just me.
Dandenong Road bites many, and you would definitely fell victim once or twice tonight. But nevertheless, bro, I think a pretty excellent achievement tonight. Congratulations on your first pole position and 2 race wins.
Yeah, thank you very much. I couldn't be more happy with those race wins, and going to that last race, I couldn't care if I came last. So I was excited to fight Bailey and actually get a bit of racing action in that race. So unfortunately, screwed that up for myself. But I did get a bit of racing going on in that front pack before the end of the race. So I mean, overall, probably one of my best nights. So I'm happy. It's a good time.
That's very good to hear. Love hearing happy drivers. And with that is all of our drivers spoken to, talked to, and interviewed, asked ridiculous questions. Lewis, with that, I will hand it back to you. But before that, thank you all. I appreciate you watching.
All right, thanks, of course, Snipes, and congratulations to Bailey Hall on his first win, and to Cheese for picking up 2 victories tonight, and to all of our runners for tonight's pretty entertaining night of racing. Now, I have brought up the calendar for the remainder of the season. Now, this graphic is incorrect, but but it will give you a fair idea of the circuits that are remaining. So, of course, we do have Gold Coast, Bathurst, Pukekohe, and Sydney Motorsport Park remaining, but there has been a change to the calendar. Obviously, we've tried multiple times to go and try and avoid clashes with other major series and real-life racing and the like. So the graphic you're seeing on screen is incorrect, but it is there just as a basic reference as to what circuits are remaining. So just to update it, the next round is, for the development series that is of course September 9th at the Surfers Paradise Street Circuit. Now, a bit of inside information is that this circuit has been completely redeveloped from when it was last used last year during the Enduro Cup, with the curbs, circuits, pretty much everything is a complete overhaul compared to last year. Hopefully it will be all tested and ready for the development series, but of course we do have last year's version up and running, but hopefully the updated version complete from scratch will be ready for the Dev Series drivers, and they'll be the ones who debut the circuit ahead of the main series, of course. That will be September 9th, and then of course we do have the big one, the precursor to the Bathurst 500, the ASR Bathurst 500 on September 30th. 16 laps doesn't sound like much, but you got to remember that lap is over 2 minutes long, so that's going to be a fairly long single race for the drivers there. And I do believe there will be a pit stop in that one, or some massive fuel saving as well for the drivers required in that. So that will be an interesting one to see, as well as Pukekohe and Sydney Motorsport Park. So that is the remainder of the calendar, with Pukekohe taking place on November 4th and the final round taking place on November 25. Of course, speaking of the Enduro Cup, I do believe this graphic is accurate, but someone will correct me at some stage saying something is wrong. But of course, that is coming up. So please sort out your teams. If you are interested, please check out the Discord and Facebook pages and submit your teams. Of course, we would like to see some liveries getting in pretty soon, because the cutoff date for liveries and all that is coming up pretty soon as well. It has snuck up on us, the Enduro Cup this year. We've not sort of forgotten to promote it throughout the middle part of the year, but it is coming up. And as you can see on the screen, it's Phillip Island 300, the 3rd and 4th of the 9th, and then the Bathurst 500, this time taking place in the middle of the Enduro Cup, on the 1st and 2nd of the 10th, with the Adelaide 400 taking place instead of the Gold Coast 400 on the 22nd and 23rd of the 10th. So that is the calendar for the Enduro Cup. Snipes, I don't know what you make of it, but it's going to be interesting. Got a wide open circuit in Phillip Island with similar format to what we had at Sandown last year. Of course, we do have the Bathurst 500, but then we do have Adelaide in there, which when we've ran supercars and Super 2 there in the past, it's always thrown up some incidents and some interesting racing.
Yeah, Phillip Island, big, wide open. You're totally right. Really flowy circuit. Very, very intriguing to have that one be an endurance race. It'll be my first endurance race around there. I'm certainly excited for it. Obviously, Adelaide being the other one brought into this for this year's endurance racing. Obviously, traditionally a Supercars calendar opener, this year a Supercars calendar closer. But yeah, 400 kilometers. I believe that's two 200-kilometer races there, so that's going to be intriguing to see how that one goes. I haven't fared well largely in street circuits over long races, so I'm a little bit nervous, but hopefully we'll all get through unscathed. And then, of course, yes, the big one, Bathurst 500. That's always the one that everyone wants to win, that everyone wants to do well at. I just want to get into the damn top 10 shootout. But I finished 11th both times, so that's my arc. Hopefully can get into the top 10 shootout, but it's not looking likely with my pace this year, to be fair. But yes, an excellent 3 circuits, a diverse 3 circuits in their offerings, and make for intriguing racing.
Yeah, certainly one to look out for. And of course, we would like to see those that are viewing that do feel they're capable of jumping in and being fairly competitive to go and sign up. Of course, we do have some spots available in that series. Anyway, that does do us for tonight's racing from Sandown International Raceway. Of course, tonight in the commentary box, myself, Lewis Wedding, NZ Snipes, aka Kane Gray, joining me, where we've seen some fantastic racing. Of course, next week there will be the main series from the very same circuit, Sandown International Raceway, where we do hope the Pixel Sim Sport cars do come home and claim a default 1-2 in both the races. But as unlikely as that's going to be, we'll leave it there. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed tonight's racing. Have a good one. And of course, don't forget to view the main supercars from Sandown next week on the Outworld Broadcast channel on YouTube. Anyway, have a good one.
It's